evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to new game Who Dis on the Glass Cannon Network. My name is Joe O'Brien, and I am very excited to be back in the Game Master chair today. We're going to call it the referee chair today, which is a little odd, with this new game that we're about to play, a new twist on an old favorite. And I'm so excited to not only get a chance to introduce this game to all of you guys, but to do it through what has to be one of the premier casts we have ever had in the history of New Game Who Dis. I am so excited to introduce all of them. I'm going to do so through the introduction of the game. We'll just kind of do it all at the same time so that I don't go on droning on and on about this game that we're playing while they don't get to talk. I want to tell you about Twilight 2000, an RPG, a role-playing game in the World War III that never was. It contains one of my favorite things in all of my genre fiction reading, the old alternate history. Love a good alternate history. So it's an alternate history RPG that one of our players, Skidmar, the one and only Skidmar, who joins us tonight, was way more familiar with than I was. In fact, suggested that I look into it. When I say it's a new version, I mean, I believe it's the 4th edition. Mm-hmm. Free League is going to be publishing this game. The Kickstarter already ran. It's about to come out in about a month. You should be able to see it and grab it, especially if you were a backer. It's so exciting to work with Free League again in this little reboot. So I'm going to kick it to Skid first. Skid, why don't you explain to me, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and a little bit to everybody else, what is Twilight 2000?
Joe, it's a pleasure, as always, playing with you, the hairy turtle dove of the Glass Cannon Network. And Twilight 2000 it came out in, I think, 1984, I think, originally. Or 82. Anyway, early 80s. And we're big fans of post-apocalyptic settings. This is actually this is happening during the apocalypse. There was a war that broke out between China and the Soviet Union in, I think, 1995, according to the fiction. And it was all downhill from there. And so it's the entire world got embroiled in this conflict. It's centered in like Western and Central Europe. And there was a limited tactical nuclear exchange at one point. And so at the point that in the year 2000, the far-flung future of the year 2000, we are all American or usually American NATO soldiers or civilians stranded in. And it used to be just Poland. It's like you would start out like outside Krakow, I think, Krakow, and but now it's like they have setting ideas for Poland and Sweden and some other stuff. But so you're stuck there, and you have to figure out what you want to do. Number one is just survive. You have to survive in this shattered mid-apocalyptic setting. And I loved it as a kid. I remember they had a bunch of the art was like stuff that was just sort of in the works for like military equipment and everything. The cover of the book, which I have displayed behind me, was the first place that I saw a Humvee. Like that was what introduced me to Humvees, was this book. So it was so cool. Like,
and that's why you own 3 now. Yeah. You're a huge Humvee fan.
I'm a big fan of Humvees and the environments. And love them both equally. And yeah, it was great. There was a really great video game, MS-DOS video game that came out in 1991. That's not a lot of people played, but it was also very good. I love this. I was so excited when I heard that they were doing a new version of it. I was super excited when Joe, you said this, like, yeah, let's go ahead and do this. I can't wait.
I'm so excited as well. And there are some changes, which we'll find out as we move forward, because all that time did actually pass in the real world. So they made adjustments to that future, the way the war began, the years it began. In fact, in this world, Bill Clinton was elected for one term, not the second term. And there was a change into a fictional presidency towards the end of the 90s. So like they do Mikhail Gorbachev is a character who is then defeated in a coup in order to keep the USSR together, and it never breaks up.
Yeah, I think the fictional timeline split is in 1989. From like everything is the same as our actual timeline up until 1989.
Yes, because the USSR never like breaks apart.
The wall never fell. Yeah,
exactly. So the Soviets maintain their power. I want to kick it over to a New Game Who Dis virgin. His first appearance on New Game Who Dis, and I couldn't be more honored to have him in on my watch so that basically he can just do my job for me, which is going to be awesome. He is a fantastic improver and storyteller. Happy to welcome to New Game Who Dis, Mr. Ross Bryant. Ross, what is your familiarity with the Cold War and this sort of history in general? Are you like a history buff? I know you like to read a lot.
Yeah.
You read a lot of.
I know you're literate.
This guy's some sort of dweebazoid. Get him. What an introduction. Thank you, Joe. I'm
the man who can read, Ross Bryant.
Who's no stranger to literacy. Give it up. Thanks. It was a real honor and a pleasure to be here playing with y'all. Yeah, I mean, my familiarity with Cold War times, the timeline that you're describing is basically my lifetime. Like, it was like the break happens in '89, and part of me is like, okay, but they still produce Ninja Turtles, right?
Ninja Turtles still come out,
didn't it?
Don't worry, originally published in 1988. You're fine.
But no, yeah, I grew up at the tail end of the Cold War. I actually watched the Berlin Wall come down on TV with a German exchange student that was staying with my aunt and uncle at the time.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
And yeah, like so it's cool that we now get to play through an alternate Y2K, which is
This is what we all thought Y2K was actually going to be like.
I'm also just really tantalized by a game that is set in the far-flung and mystical fantasy land of 90s Poland.
Yeah, it's so fantastic. And while there is a focus on Poland, I think right now it's just because you have to narrow it down to give players and referees somewhere to start and a good detailed map and a good idea of the situation there. But they're very clear that you could set this anywhere, which I love because they're like, the war is touching everywhere. It is truly a world war. Nuclear strikes landed in the United States, which is another reason that characters that might be American and over there for whatever reason, probably military, have every reason to fear or believe that their home is destroyed, that their families might be lost or killed or whatever. And it's just the not knowing and the being cut off that is a big part that drives the fiction. Ross, you also are featured on our D&D 5e show, Wicked Empire, which is just started. The second episode streamed a little earlier this week. The first episode podcast released this week. So we're so happy to have you now on two different shows on the network.
I am honored to be a part of this wonderful kingdom that you have wrought with your bare hands from the virgin earth.
Yes. Grant, Skid, and I. We drug Troy along, he was kicking and screaming. And now I want to kick it over to a special guest that has, I'm going to keep saying it. I don't even know if it's true anymore. I don't know, up against Skid, it might be tough, but more New Game Who disappearances than any other guest or player, the one and only Kate Stamas. Kate, welcome back.
Hello.
It is so good to have you back. My first question for you, what is your favorite war film?
Oh, wow. I literally can't think of one.
You're such a cinephile, surely. Right. I hate to have you narrow it down.
Like movies are my thing, and war movies are like, I cannot. It'd be rude to pick a favorite. I can't. All the wars just have so much going on.
It's like picking a favorite child.
Don't put her in that position. Ross, so you just met Kate. You're meeting for the first time tonight as we play tonight. Kate doesn't watch movies, and it has no interest.
Really? Okay, now your jibes make sense.
He's like, what?
I appreciate you laughing along, being polite. You were like, ha 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 ha.
Funny joke, haha.
Kate, do you? So when I grew up, I was the Cold War was on, man, and we were terrified of Russians and Soviets and stuff, and I truly believed that I could. I feared for like quite a bit of time that I would get drafted into a war. Like I always thought that there was going to be a war in the 90s, and there was just not in Russia, but there was in Kuwait and everything. And I always worried about it escalating with Russia in the U.S. because they were such a big world power. What is your memory of the Cold War, of the 90s, even of this time? And is it something you're interested to seek your teeth into, or are you just sort of like learning it as you play this game?
So I was Googling when the Berlin Wall fell while you guys were talking, and I was 2.
Well, you were alive. That's a huge
I was alive.
Y'all old.
I don't have much experience with like war stuff. Mm-hmm. I feel like I had bad history teachers growing up because like it just never, whenever I learn about this stuff, it just never stuck. I read about it now and it's like, I don't know, better than learning it when you don't care, when you're a kid.
Yeah.
I just started getting into like, I don't know how much I can say, but some military things.
Oh, wow.
So creepy.
What are you working for the government?
Are you writing a manifesto?
Into some of the positions.
What are you, G14? What is going on?
I joined myself. So, yeah, that's my experience with war. I'm excited to play this game. It sounds really cool. I just am not a history buff. I'm not a war buff. And yeah.
I love it. I think
I just want to clarify that I was also 2 when I watched the wall come down. I just have a really good memory.
Yeah, he doesn't look that much older than me.
Yeah.
Ross Bryant, deceptively young looking asshole. Finally rounding out our cast tonight. So couldn't think of a better game besides Delta Green, for Private Berger to report to duty on. Ladies and gentlemen, Grant Berger. Grant, my question for you, what is the standard issue firearm for the Soviet military?
AK-47. That's the easiest.
I don't know the answer. It is. It's AK.
Yeah, it's AK-47. The AK-74SU is a smaller variant that was used by special forces teams and has a folding stock, which allows them to descend from helicopters and rappel more easily into areas. There's also the AK-74SU, which is a different variation that Kalashnikov developed later on and was a little bit more ready for... Sorry, I could go on for hours, Joe.
This is... fantastic. I watched Kate's face be like, what the fuck is happening right now?
I just kind of like disassociated for a minute. I feel like very like unprepared, but whatever.
No, I'll tell you, I got so excited looking at what comes in the box for Twilight 2000 with the giant map of Poland. And it reminded me, my dad's office when I was growing up, he had a big battle map that had like, it was like a game-worn jersey, basically, but I don't know if it was really in war, but it had like a hole burned in the middle of it. It was the Battle of the Bulge. And that's what the map that comes with this game reminds me of. And it's really neat to see, and it feels very militaristic. One other thing I'm very excited about is I've always wanted to play Mutant Year Zero, and I believe some of the gameplay, at least what I read online, is kind of based off of that. That's kind of what they brought it into the modern days with, right?
It absolutely is. You stole my thunder. I was just going to start talking about... No, it's all good. I'm just kidding. I was just about to start talking about the Year Zero engine, which Free League is used across multiple games now. And it helped me choose this game because I had run Alien before. And it's a very similar system as Alien. And so in playing that, I was like... okay, this is a sort of an easy transition, but there are key differences that are very important and very cool, and I'm really interested to see how they play out in action. And we'll get into those as we get into character creation and all that kind of stuff. Speaking of Free League, I'd like to take a moment to thank Free League for getting us these advanced copies of the game since it's not even out yet, and allowing us to play it and experience it and share it with you. Even though it's not out yet, I still want to do a giveaway. I wrote them. I was like, can I do a giveaway even if it's not out yet? And they'll just get their stuff a month late. And they were like, absolutely. So I'm very excited to give away some copies of the core set of Twilight 2000 tonight. We'll give away 1 physical copy tonight to a winner and 3 PDF copies. I'm not 100% certain, but I think it's possible that the PDF copies might get delivered very quickly. Like, I don't know, almost immediately. I think they might be out from under wraps and available. I'm not sure. But the hard copies are just stuck in COVID shipment supply chain issues. The book is done. Everything is done. They're just waiting for it to physically get to the backers. The backers have to get it first. But then once that is done, you would be next, whoever gets this physical copy tonight. And I highly recommend that you get the physical copy. I've been sitting on the PDF. It's great. I went to Gen Con, held the physical copy, and was like, I'll buy one off of you, please. I'll pay $1 million. The guy was just like, no, sir. You take your $1 million and shove it. And they really didn't want to part with that thing. But I like a physical copy. I like a good physical copy. So check chat. Brennan is going to drop a link in chat for where you can go, join the giveaway, and throw your name in the cap in order to get pulled for a physical copy of the core. Plus 3 winners will also get PDF copies of the set. And it's awesome, too, because it's not only a player's manual, as they call it. It's also a referee's manual. It's also that big map of Poland Grant was talking about. It has character tokens. It has all kinds of battle tokens. It has, you know what it doesn't have, really? In-depth scenarios, which I love. And we're going to get into a little bit of why that is tonight. You guys want to get started? You want to start this thing moving? Let's do it. Let's do it. When I say it doesn't have scenarios, what I mean is when I sit down here, as I sit down here tonight, I don't have a plan for where I'm going to drop whatever characters they create into this story and then tease the beginning of whatever mission it is they want to accomplish. I can't know the mission they want to accomplish until they know who they are and why they're here, how they got here, and what it is they want to do next. Normally I would say, yeah, sure, that's fine for a home game, but this is a show. This is a broadcast. Like, you need to have something prepared in order to create great story. I'm walking a tightrope without a safety net tonight because I trust these players so much, and because I trust Free League so much in the way that they approach their games. And when I read it, I will just read to you exactly what I read. It's like page 8. It's very, very early in the manual. And it just says flat out, in Twilight 2000, there is no one to hold your hand or show you where to go in a world engulfed by war. To me, that says there is nobody that just shows up and gives you quests. There's no leader to just sort of send you out to do their bidding and bring stuff back. It is up to you and the other players to decide where to go together. The referee will place encounters, NPCs, and tough challenges in your path. But in the end, the stories of the game are created by you, the players. They are not written down beforehand. You have control over the PC's lives, and there is plenty to do. So I really took that paragraph to heart and was like, and Alien was produced in much the same way. The idea of a pre-written module is a completely separate style of adventuring. They're like, this is the campaign style. And that's where they'll give you pre-written stuff. And the pre-written stuff is often with pre-generated characters. They say, if you're going to make characters, you should also make the story. And I appreciate Free League's approach, and I want to, really leave it in your guys' hands. So what that means we're going to do tonight, or aim to do tonight, is not only create 4 original unique characters using Twilight 2000's life path system, which I'm so excited to do, but also as we do that and as we get to the end of it, you then will all work together to collaborate on how you came together, what kind of gear you have as a group in this survival situation, and what your primary objectives are next. What is the next thing you need to do? And a lot of what needs to be done could very well come from the limits of what happened to you during character creation. You're going to be rolling things like rations, like water, like fuel in a truck, and you might, if you need these things, these might be your primary objectives. So we're going to wait and see how that shakes out. And I can't stress enough that I want to make sure you guys are just constantly throwing in your input at all times, not only on each other's characters, but on the story as it's developing and what you want the start of this story to be, so that we can all work together to create it, and so that I don't have to do so much work. There we go.
It's the dream.
With that, let's unveil the life path system. The character creation system, as far as I know, created by Free League for this. Did it exist, to your knowledge, Skid, in the original? Was there this life path character creation system?
I can't remember what the character creation system was like in the original. I mean, I know the first life path type system that I remember was Traveler, which we tried a little bit of when we were in Indianapolis. But I don't remember. I can't remember. I shouldn't say because I really don't remember. But
I was very happy to be exposed to Traveler briefly while we were at Gen Con. It was fun to play around with because I really did. I saw the similarities. So you get this. Yeah. From what I hear, that was sort of they were the Trailblazers. But I haven't seen another one that came off of it just like that. This is almost the same thing, except you'll see there aren't really major events. The events that sort of happen to you in Traveler don't exist here. The characters are going to be safe through the end of it. You're not going to die in character creation like you can in Traveler. But what you will do is need to generate the story that explains why certain things happened to you during the course of your life.
Cool.
We don't know how old these characters are going to be at the end of this. We don't know. It's a roll of the die. And it's not a roll like in Pathfinder where it's like you are 18 plus 3d6 years old or whatever. That's where you start. In this case, you literally will be going along with your life. But then suddenly, based on a random die roll, World War III will break out and you will be ripped from your normal life. And you will be shunted to Eastern Europe in order to fight in this war. So, yeah, it's a really interesting and incredible system. And while you may want to get somewhere, you may run out of time. It's very interesting. And so not only will the characters be different ages, they will also have different levels of ability. Not everybody's going to be balanced. I talked to Grant before the show, and he was like, as a addicted min-maxer and Munchkin, and he loves digging into the strategy of these games, and I appreciate that. This is one case where, Grant, what do you want to do?
I want to have the dice go where they may, to roll where they may. There's a part of me that wanted to like follow my dad's kind of path to officerhood, like right into the war and try to recreate that. I'm sporting my father's mustache that he took into Vietnam. He let me borrow it for this recording. And I also wanted to be with my mustache hero, Ross Bryant, on a recording.
I bow to the master.
No, I bow to you, sir.
The best pair of mustaches in gaming.
We're also on this.
You guys should spend the next 5 minutes just bowing to each other.
Yes. Genuflecting, paying mustache obeisance to one another. Yeah.
We're actually balancing the entire stream on like a mustache fulcrum right now.
Oh yes, if
that's your dad, that was amazing.
I'll throw it up on the stream too. But that's 20-something-year-old Rick Berger.
Rick Berger. That's a good character.
I don't have enough testosterone and will never in my body to recreate my dad's level of facial hair in this. I just have to make do with what I got.
I like to assume that you just said that my dad has a very attainable amount of testosterone, and I appreciate that. Sick Bryant burn.
Well, your dad has an attainable level of testosterone.
Ooh,
everybody
totally
sees
normal quantity of tea.
Yes, but I've been accused of min-maxing, I've been accused of doing this, and I had this path I wanted to follow, but I kind of just want to go until the dice end and see where my character ends up and reverse engineer the story to what I'm given, and I think that'll be fun and a totally different way to play it.
Couldn't agree more. I think that'll be a blast. You guys also know that I'm a big fan of atmospheric audio, music, making sure we keep our games alive and fun with all kinds of stuff of that nature. And so while we don't know how old everybody is going to be, by the odds of the dice, most likely everyone is going to have been born in the 70s, maybe early 80s or 60s, late 60s into the early 80s. And while I don't have where we're starting, though, is when you're 18. Some of you may be 18 in the 80s. Some of you may be 18 in the 90s. We'll see how it all shakes out. But I want to start want to start in the 80s. So let's get the sounds of the 80s going.
Awesome.
Get ready.
Sounds of the 70s,
mood.
the 80s, and today?
Yeah. It kind of, well, we're coming back. It's all cycling back, Ross.
Listen to this. Wow.
Oh, just too fun. Too fun.
Pulling up
thank
in
you.
an Astro van and smoke is pouring out.
Just fantastic. Kate, does this make you miserable or do you enjoy 80s music?
I can't hear it.
Oh, can anybody hear
sitting
it?
here like,
90s ears,
yes.
they're not attuned to it.
I don't think I don't think I can hear Siren Joe. Don't know why.
Oh, no.
I'll just play it in my head.
Joe, we can
Okay.
hear it, and I'm thrilled that we have lyrics to compete with as well as we talk. That's the best part about this song.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep it low, and there's
Okay.
plenty of music here that does not have lyrics, but you had to have the
Yes.
passionate singer to
Absolutely.
invoke 80s vibes. All right. You know what, Grant? We started with you. Let's start with you. You started talking about how you want to roll the dice. Let's actually roll the dice. Character creation in this game is going to center around 4 attributes and their requisite 12 skills, 3 skills under each attribute. That's how it's laid out. Your ranks in these attributes and skills are the same. They're on a scale from A to D, A being just superior, outstanding, elite. B, obviously a step below that, and then C, and then D. D in attributes means you're pretty feeble. D in skills means you have some training. And you'll see how this all shakes out as we go. When you start the game, you have a C in all 4 attributes: strength, agility, intelligence, and empathy. These are your 4 attributes that will define everything around you. Every character at the end of this will have nothing higher than A and nothing lower than D. A through D will be everybody's 4 attributes. To start, you have 4 C's, Grant. And the first thing that you do at 18 years of age is roll 2d3 to determine how many upgrades you get of your 4 attributes. So go ahead and roll 2d3 and tell me what you get.
Hold on, I just got to finish picking up a pack of Marlboros at the gas station first.
Yes.
All right, mistake 1 made. Fulfilling life ahead. 3 on the first D3
Oh, wow.
and a 2 on the second.
Oh my god.
Phenomenal. 5, I mean, already. Accused min-maxer for a reason. Because he's a lying thief. Okay. You have 5 upgrades that you can spend across. While you're deciding what you want to upgrade, you are 18 years old. Your coolness under fire is a D. That's what that's going to start with. We'll talk about coolness under fire later. The only other thing you pick now is your nationality.
American?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, unless we have a chart to roll on that, which I would absolutely roll on.
Yes, you could absolutely roll. Go ahead and roll a D3, I'll say. Wow, this is crazy. You want to roll?
Getting a taste of random rolling, and he's loving it.
All right, so here's what do a D4. I'll say
D4?
1 is US, 2 is Soviet,
No.
3 is Polish, 4 is any nationality you want to be. Besides those, you can't be those.
4.
Oh, okay, so you can be whatever you want.
Okay. I'll think about it
So
for a
you
while.
want to be American.
Yeah, I'll be American for now.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so you get 5 increases. You can increase all of your each of your things one time, and then you can whatchamacallit. You can if you can knock 1 down to a D if you'd like in order to get one more extra upgrade. So those are-
everything can go from C to B right off the bat. But to get anything up to A from there, I'd have to drop one of them down to a D.
that's what it seems like. Yeah, I haven't done the math on
I
your
couldn't
5
leave
yet.
one at C and then get up to an A?
No, I think couldn't you do because you have 5 points, right? So couldn't you do everything B and then 1A just with
Yes,
the points?
you could
that
do an A
rolled?
and 3 Bs.
Okay, great.
All right,
Sounds
so
like
what do
high
you want to
school.
put that A in?
Without knowing, I'm going to roll D4.
Ooh.
Oh, I love it.
4
All right,
skills.
1 being strength, 4 being empathy. Go ahead.
1.
Okay, so strength, an A in strength, and then three Bs. This is
This is ridiculous.
I practiced multiple times with Matthew doing this. He made characters, never had anything close to an A and three Bs. just phenomenal.
His first time with the baddies, Captain America.
Okay, Grant. Now we're going to determine where you came from, your childhood. What was your upbringing like? Give me a D6.
Okay, perfect. My upbringing, if I had to rank it exactly, was a 2.
Your upbringing was a 2. You were brought up in a small town.
Okay, I love it.
Okay, so a small town upbringing is going to allow you to level up one of these skills: driving, ranged combat, or survival.
Driving, range combat, or survival. We're taking it to D3 town. That's a 3. That's survival.
All right, survival. So you upgrade your survival skill to a D. It goes from 0 to D. Now, go ahead and roll another D6 to find out your specialty. Well, a little something you know a little extra than everybody else because of your upbringing.
6.
6 is quartermaster. So, not sure how that manifests itself in childhood. You tell me, but you know
He
how
ran
to get
Daddy's
it.
store.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Ran the old trading post.
Yeah, the old tree.
Well, I guess this is the 1880s, right?
Right, that's right. Outside Fort Laramie, I was in charge of pemmican stores.
Good trapping up there. It's beaver season.
It's beaver season. Amazing. Grant, do you have any ideas?
Pelts.
Do you have any?
Instead of a neon sign that says girls, 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 it's just pelts, pelts, pelts in the 1860s. I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any ideas yet on where in America you grew up? You don't have to yet. You can reverse engineer it later. But do you have any ideas that are forming yet? Because now you're 18.
Now I'm 18. You can make bad decisions all across this great land, Joseph. I think I'm going to look at the map in the background, maybe during someone else's turn, unless you need it now, and I might kind of do quadrants and roll a d4 again. I am so hooked on this random roll, and I love it.
Okay, fantastic.
I don't feel alive unless I'm rolling randomly.
All right, well, let's see what this character randomly does. What happens to him or her? We don't know yet. At 18, do you go into some sort of civilian life, or do you go into the military at 18? Give me a 50-50. Give me a D2, a flip of the coin. 1 military, 2 civilian.
God, I want to flip an actual coin. I'll do the D4. Odds are what? Military?
1, 2 military, 3, 4 civilian.
Okay. 3 civilian.
He's a civilian. I never thought it would happen.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I was going to
now
go
that's just
odds
at
military,
18.
but you
can
changed
always
the
go
rules.
military later. That's just at 18.
Yep.
At 18, what
That's
did you do?
term 1 career?
Term 1 career, you went civilian. So now you have to. I need you to roll a d6
Okay.
to determine what you went into at 18.
1.
You went into the police force.
Love it. Oh, this is I'm
Small
facially
town.
appropriate.
Small town police officer. Okay, I'm digging it. Trained to protect and serve. Now you find yourself caught between combatants all over the world. All right, what is... so now I need a D3 roll to determine what your specialty was within the police force.
Okay. D3 it is. 3.
Oh, dude. SWAT.
Yes!
Ooh.
Unbelievable. Okay, now here's where things get interesting. This is why not everybody can just roll randomly, because you actually have to have a strength and agility of B or higher to make it into SWAT. And luckily you do. So for those of you, as you guys start to build your character, if there's something, by the way, you can look on page 34, 35, 36, 37 of the player's guide. This is where these choices are. If you're like, I really want to be in special ops, if I want to be a Navy SEAL, look at what those requirements are. And think about that as you're building your attributes. But Grant is going pure random. SWAT. You now choose between 2 upgrades. You can upgrade the same skill twice or spread it between 2 of these skills: close combat, ranged combat, or recon. I also want to say at this stage that you can I don't expect you to right now, but I want everybody else to keep this in mind too. You can always choose to level up one of the generic skills: stamina, mobility, and driving. They will, they are ones you could always level up if you want. So close combat, ranged combat, recon. You get 2 upgrades. Do you want to upgrade 2 of them to D or 1 of them to C?
I think as a SWAT officer, you should, the recon thing is more of like a FBI thing than a SWAT officer. So I'm thinking about doing range combat twice because that's kind of what SWAT officers do. They kick down doors and they have to be very accurate. It just makes sense to the career at this point. This is kind of the reverse engineering, like some of the choices based off of the story beats I'm getting now. So So
your ranged combat goes to C.
Range combat.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Now I need you to make a skill roll for ranged combat. Let's see how good you were at SWAT. Now we'll get into the mechanics of the game. Mechanics of the game are like this. A rank of A is a D12. A rank of B is a D10. A rank of C is a D8. A rank of D is a D6. That is what you roll for that skill when it comes up. In order to get a success, you must roll 6 or higher on the die. So that means if you have a D, you're going to have to roll 6 out of 6. If you have a C, you got a little bit better shot all the way up to A where it's 50-50. When you roll a skill that you have ranks in, you roll the 2 die. 1 for the attribute, 1 for the skill. In this case, ranged combat, I don't have it in front of me right now, but I believe it's agility. So do agility B, that's a D10, plus ranged combat C, that's a D8. You roll a D10 and a D8, you just need a 6 on one of them.
Okay.
And that will be a success.
A 10 and a 4.
Well, that's shocking.
No, a 0 on it, so it's a...
That's a 10.
That's 10, okay.
That's a 10. I should also mention at this point that you, at 10 is 2 successes. 10, 11, 12 is 2 successes. So you can only get 2 successes if you have a D10 or an A or a B in a skill or attribute. So well done, Grant. Since you succeeded on that roll, you get to add another specialty. Your first was quartermaster. Let's see what you specialized in as a SWAT officer. Another D6, please.
Absolutely. Here it comes. 3.
Sniper. Yes! Oh my God, he did it. He got sniper in career 1. Phenomenal.
Joe, I want to thank you so much for following the script I sent you before the show so closely.
Yeah, that's really what it looks like. Mapped out all of our roles. Okay, sounds good. Now we have come to the end of your turn. We're about to move on to our next character. I'm so excited. But before we do, we want to find out how many years have passed in your life. How long did it take you to become a specialized sniper in SWAT? This is a D6 roll. You're now 18 years old. After this, you are
2.
2. All right, so now you are 20 years old. At the end of term 1, you have a courage under fire of D, which does not go up in this case. It only goes up if you go into the military. From the rules I can see here, would make sense in SWAT that your courage under fire might go up. But for right now, I'm just going to leave it with what I understand the rules to be. Okay. That is great. Okay, now you need to roll. I'm going to skip these next 2 things because they're irrelevant in term 1. They start becoming relevant in term 2. Let's move on. All right, next on my... I've got... let's do Kate. Kate, you are next. Kate!
Yay.
Kate,
also, I can hear the music now, and it's great.
Okay, good. I'm glad you dig it.
It's what would be playing if someone was training how to become a ninja.
It is.
Yeah, it's true. Exactly. So, Kate, you are famous in my mind for bringing to the network the full, pure roll for everything.
Yes,
you love doing this and have made
She originated it.
Fantastic characters out of it. You made it. You invented it.
It's the Kate method.
The Kate method.
That's what it says in the rule book here. It's like, would you like to do the Kate method? Kate, is this the method you would like to do? Do you want to play it similar to Grant, or did you have an idea in mind?
I had an idea, but I don't know how it fits in here when I was reading about military service versus civilian experience. So I'm just gonna roll completely.
Okay. Okay, great. So again, all of your attributes start at C. Yes. Let's roll 2d3 to see how many upgrades you get.
Okay. Got a
This is
2 and a 2. Awesome.
Okay, 4 upgrades. Fantastic. Think about what you want to upgrade. If you want to, it is interesting when you're rolling randomly. You know what? I will let you reverse engineer your attributes if you want to fit into the random career you roll. Mm-hmm. So why don't we just leave those for a second? And how about your nationality? Do you want to pick that or do you want to roll?
I was going to go for American.
Okay, sounds good. American. By the way, the game is pretty clear. They're like the standard game you're expected to be U.S. soldiers or Polish civilians is pretty much the standard. But they're like, you can do anything. You could be Soviet soldiers. And the way that they explain it is in a time of war like this, where all communication is cut off, there are no longer regiments working together. There are no longer divisions working together. Everything starts to become every man for himself in a way, and small squads form, and they could be a mix of anyone. Could be a U.S. soldier and a Soviet soldier looking out for each other because everybody's just trying to survive at this point. I think it's a fascinating thing, but they do say the default, the standard is an American or a Polish civilian. Okay. Oh, you could be Polish military too. Let's find out about your childhood. Go ahead and give me a D6 roll.
Okay. Got a 2. I'm also from a small town.
Also from a small town. You guys could maybe commiserate about this. Can't be in a small town.
Had innate strength from a small town.
More like just a small town girl. That's what comes to my mind.
Living in a war-torn world.
You got a +2 in agility.
+2 in agility. So good. All right, Kate, give me a choice. This is a choice. Not you could roll if you want. Do you want to roll a D3 to see what you get a skill rank in, or do you want to remember it was driving, ranged combat, and survival, or do you want to pick one of those?
I feel like, can I roll my specialty and then pick the skill?
Yes. Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's do that. Go ahead and roll your specialty that you got as a child.
2, a racer.
A racer.
A racer. So then I guess I want driving.
Okay. Oh,
Hey.
Cool. I like
Cool.
this.
Oh, wow.
Regular baby driver.
I just imagine growing up in a small town and just like the only thing to do is to work on like my old beat up car that like I take down to like the track with my friends and we just like sit there all night, drink shitty beer and like, or maybe you shouldn't drink and drive. I don't know. I don't drive anymore.
Oh, well, those janky hot rod racers are known for their responsibility when it comes to their sobriety.
It
wasn't illegal
those small
in the
town
80s.
roads to get anywhere.
They didn't have
It
even
was cool,
seatbelts
man.
back then.
Yeah, there were no seatbelts and you could drink all you liked.
Yeah.
Who's going to
That's
stop
awesome.
you? A small town SWAT cop?
Small town SWAT officer.
Sitting in a fight sniper's nest on top of the general store.
I have the shot. Should I take the shot? Can I take the shot?
Should I take the shot? Over.
I'm on top of the
God.
only building in town. Should I take the shot?
Amazing. Okay. I think we're at term 1 at this stage. You are 18 years old, and you have to decide what to do with your life. Would you like to decide to go military or civilian, or would you like to roll?
I want to roll.
Okay, 1 military, 1, 2 military, 3, 4 civilian.
3.
3, another civilian. Okay, fantastic. And then go ahead and roll a D6 to see what sort of, where you started at 18.
D6.
Don't roll police officer.
I got a 3.
A 3 is intelligence.
Nice.
Ooh.
So you at 18 went into the CIA. Wow. Amazing.
Wow.
Amazing.
I put intelligence
In
where?
career 1, in the line that says career 1.
I put civilian there.
Term number 1. Yeah, I put civilian and then in parentheses intelligence.
Okay.
You did like really well in a standardized test, and one day a guy just appeared at your door like, hello. We would like to offer you a job.
I was like, all right, get me out of here.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, you cannot do this, which is interesting. You know what? How about this? you cannot do any aspect of intelligence without doing at least a term in education or in the military, which makes sense. So instead of rolling randomly, since this was your random roll, why don't we have you actually choose your first career, and your second career can be intelligence?
Yeah, they don't like recruit off high school campuses.
I thought it sounded weird. I was like, maybe she's an assistant in the yeah, she's like gets people coffee, and then she became the head of operations. Right. All right. So, yeah, why don't we have you choose if you want to go education route or military route for getting into the CIA?
So career 2 is civilian intelligence. Career 1, I'll do military.
All right. Nice. I'm loving it.
Military.
Okay, writing this all down. All right, so career 1 is military. Okay, fantastic. Okay. Now I need you to roll to see sort of what area of the military were you in, and this is where things could get interesting. D6 Go ahead and give me a D6 roll.
Okay, let me get something good. 5.
Special ops.
Y'all are badasses.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay, all right.
I'm going to roll like Baker.
Right.
I think you're going to get Candlestick Maker.
Okay. Cool.
You know what? I'm sorry.
Your mouth to God's ear.
Yeah.
I apologize. I have to pull that back because, again, you can't be at special operations without having done another term and something else. So give me a D3 roll.
D3.
Joe Big T's
2.
O'Brien.
2. Okay. Here we go. You join the military, and you immediately are assigned into combat support. So you're in a combat support division. You must have an intelligence of B+. So now why don't we shake out your 4 attributes? Knowing that you have to have an intelligence of B+, and then knowing that in order to get into intelligence, you have to have an intelligence of B+. I'm sorry. If you go military, you have to have a strength and agility of B+. So you have to make your strength, agility, and intelligence all B at least right now.
Okay.
And that's 3 of your 4 upgrades. Now you've got 1 more. Do you want to make one of them 1 more, or do you want to make empathy a B, or do you want to drop empathy to a D and get 2 to an A?
So I'm going to keep empathy at C and then either do agility or intelligence at A, because I figure agility from being a driver, intelligence from this
going
new
into
path.
Intelligence, yeah.
I feel like I want to do A for agility and B intelligence. And then maybe if I can up it again at a certain point, I'll up intelligence.
All right, so I have you at B strength, A agility, B intelligence, C empathy.
Yes.
There you have. Fantastic. All right, so now in your initial career as combat support, you start your rank as a private first class because of your intelligence. So you already go up a little bit from a private to a private first class. And then you will get to choose from these. Recon, survival, and tech. You can upgrade 2 of them once or 1 of them twice.
Wait. Where is this?
It's just your skills. Like you just got to pick if you want to do recon, survival, or tech.
They're under intelligence. They're listed under the intelligence.
Oh, I see. So I pick 1.
You pick 1 to level up twice, or 2 of them to level up 1 each. And by level up, I mean you would get a D in them.
I feel like tech would make sense because if I'm always tinkering around with machinery when I was growing up.
Okay, so tech to D.
I think so. I don't think survival makes sense. Yeah, tech to D.
And would you like to do tech to C, or here are your options: tech to C, recon to D, or you could do stamina, driving, or mobility. So you could do your driving to C if you wanted, or you could do mobility to D or stamina to D.
Driving.
Wait, I'm losing the plot. Stamina is somewhere else on this sheet.
Oh, it's down. Stamina's under strength.
Yeah, stamina
you mean
is a
ranged
skill.
combat? Oh, wait.
Stamina is a skill under strength. Yeah.
Okay.
These are all
Yes.
skills that we're talking about. When you're in your career leveling something up, it's a skill. You never touch your attributes again, except for aging effects, which we'll get to later.
So out of everything you said, I can do 2D or one of them up to a C.
Correct.
Okay. So I want to do driving D and tech D.
Okay, you already have driving at D from your childhood, so do
Okay.
driving to C.
Awesome. C.
Looks like this party has a driver.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. Right.
Badass. Okay, now this is very interesting. We do a promotion roll to see if you get promoted in the old military. Go ahead and give me a tech check. Let's see how good you were at combat support in tech in your first year or years. So roll intelligence, which is a B. That's a D10 plus tech, which is a D6 for you. D10 and a D6, you need a 6 on one of them. 6 or
D10
higher.
And a D6.
You need a 6 or higher on one.
I do not have.
You
no,
do not get
A
promoted.
4 and a 1, yeah.
Okay, so that's a fail. Not only do you not get promoted, you also don't get a specialty in the area. You're just sort of an okay combat support, and maybe this is why you make the choice to move out of the military and go into civilian intelligence. We shall see. However, because you spent that one term in the military, your coolness under fire goes up to C.
Okay.
Actually, and you know what? I'm sorry, I screwed something up. This is going to happen from time to time. I apologize. I'm going to have to pull back that. You have to pull back the driving or the tech. I forgot. Any military term you do, you have to level up ranged combat 1.
Oh,
Okay.
right.
And your first one, just your first one, you have to level up ranged combat
For
1.
basic training. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'll have D driving, D range combat, D tech.
Perfect.
Cool.
Ranged combat D.
Did
Love
we
it.
also did we do this and I was so caught up in the rolling, or is this something you want to do later for the war roll?
Yes, that is not going to happen at term 1.
Okay, got it.
The only time it could start mattering is term 2.
Got it.
So yeah, that is. You said you were going to do.
Driving, ranged combat, and tech, all D. Nice.
Fantastic. Let's see how many years passed. Roll a
So-
D6. What will your age be at the end of term 1?
2.
2 years again. Okay, so you're also 20 years old. You do 2 years in combat support,
Okay.
and then you move on. All right, start thinking about civilian intel life. You can find that, and if you want to make choices, you can. You can roll if you'd like, but you can find that information on page 37. It looks like, yeah, of the player's guide. Who's next? Who's next? Skid. Skid is next. Sorry, Ross. We saved the best for last, Ross. Save the best for last. Skid is up next. This is so exciting.
I'm very excited.
Starting out with a C in all of your attributes, roll 2d3 to start. Let's see how many upgrades you get. This
This is one thing I missed, because this is how all RPGs used to be, was random attribute generation.
Yeah.
Nobody does it anymore. This is awesome. 4.
Oh, fantastic.
Total.
Okay, so we got a 5, a 4, and a 4 so far. Ross, you're going to have to keep up, man. You're going to have to. Don't be the weak link.
Or be
I'm
the
gonna
weak
be
link. That's
I'm
fine.
going to be the load.
With 4 attribute increases, I like how we're learning this as we go along. Let's not have you apply them until you start to see what your careers are shaking out as. How about a nationality?
France.
Oh, French. I love it. Okay. Dude, what was your childhood in France like?
Ooh. Let's see.
D6.
3.
Working class.
Working class.
So, working class Frenchman. Okay. It's good. That will give you a skill upgrade in close combat, stamina, or tech.
Close combat.
This is already starting to come together. All right, so put your close combat to a D. You also get a specialty. Would you like to roll for your specialty or choose?
What are the specialties for that?
Specialties under working class are brawler. Need I say more? Okay, there's brawler, builder, load carrier, scrounger, blacksmith, mechanic.
Brawler.
Brawler it is. Okay. So we have a French fighting street urchin Oh no, he's working class. He's not a street urchin. Okay, street kid is actually on the
Vince's
list.
Castle is swimming into my mind's eye.
Yeah, there you go. And let me see. I'm putting all this stuff together here. I think we're already there, Skid. I think we're already at career 1. Do you want to roll, or are you choosing military or civilian?
I think I'm gonna go military.
Okay. Term 1, military. Do you want to roll, or do you want to choose your career, which is one of 3: combat arms, combat support, combat service support?
I'll roll.
Okay, well, 1d3.
3.
3 is combat service support. Combat service support, you will start also as a private first class, just like Kate's character did, and you will get a choice. Oh, interesting. So you get to choose between, remember, always, guys, the generics: mobility, driving, stamina. That's always there if you want to level that up. You have to take 1 rank in ranged combat, and then you could choose from medical aid or tech in combat service support.
I'll take medical aid.
Medical aid. Fucking awesome. Cool. Medical aid. You had to learn a lot patching yourself up after all those fights, right?
Yeah. On the streets of Marseille, there's very few options if there is a knife wound or whatever. Come to me.
Fantastic. Your coolness under fire is going to go up to a C because of your training. Now we need to see, would you like to make your training test to see if you get promoted in ranged combat or in medical aid? At this point, you're going to have to distribute your attributes because it's going to matter. Now, I'll tell you, if you want to get into special operations, you need to have, you have to do at least determine combat arms, and you have to have a strength and intelligence of B, strength of agility of B, intelligence of C. If you want to be an officer, you have to have an intelligence of B. You have to do a term in education. All right, so this does matter here.
Yeah, I'm going to go strength B, agility B, intelligence B, empathy C.
Okay, you still have...
Oh, actually... Wait.
That's 3.
Oh,
that's
right. Yeah, never mind. Agility A.
Okay, so would it make sense to then say you would like to do your ranged combat as your promotion roll?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to roll a D12 and a D6, and you need a 6 on one of those die.
Okay.
This is your training test.
7 on the
7,
D12.
Got it. Lucky number 7. Go ahead and roll a D6 for me, and that'll give you a specialty.
1.
Mechanic. It came back to mechanic anyway.
Okay.
So you've got, so when I say mechanic specialty, that takes a sort of elusive place in the game. What it means is, if there's ever a role that comes up where you pitch to the referee, I think this could be boosted based on my mechanic skill, you could get a die upgrade for that check. It's very much like when you did Star Trek and you had there were things that you were well versed in specialties. They were called something, I can't remember. But if it was in that specific realm, you got an extra boost to the role. Similar here. You also got promoted. That means you also got promoted, which means you are now a corporal or a specialist. I'll let you choose.
Corporal.
Corporal. Okay. So you're now a corporal. And you get +1 courage under fire. I'm sorry, I have to remove your courage under fire, Kate. You do not get courage under fire, coolness under fire, unless you get the promotion. My apologies. Skid, we shall come back to see what our medical aid brawler from the working class neighborhoods of France does next. Last but not least, we have Ross.
Yes. Ooh, what's it going to be?
Good, buddy.
Time to roll up a real load.
Let's see how to. Well, first, Russ, talk to me about where you're at in terms of the approach to this. Do you want to do a lot of randomness, or do you have an idea in mind that you want to pursue?
I had an idea in mind, but now that I'm seeing all these cool rolls, I kind of want to be a real rando. So yeah, I'm gonna let the dice lead. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
With that idea in the back of my head, if it can kind of be guided that way, so be it. But if the dice lead me astray, job less.
Okay, sounds good. Let's start with a D3 roll.
Great. Just one or both two?
2D3, sorry.
Great. So that's a 1 and a 2.
Okay, so 3 upgrades that you'll be able to spread across your abilities. We'll revisit that in a second. I'm going to shake it up with you for a second. Let's roll your childhood first. Then I want you to choose your nationality. Let's see what your childhood was. Then you can pick your or you can roll it. Let's do childhood. Childhood is a D6.
Great. 6.
Affluent.
Oh, rich boy.
He's a rich boy, eh?
You don't do much. Yeah. Great. So all these rural peons make way.
Love it.
Amazing. Okay. With an affluent upbringing, you will get 1 skill upgrade in any of the following: mobility, command, persuasion.
Ooh.
I'm going to take persuasion.
Persuasion. Okay. Very cool. All right. So an affluent upbringing. And do you want to roll your specialty?
Yeah, sure.
What are my options? This is what came from your boatman, rider, runner, linguist, musician, trader.
Musician.
Oh my God. Fucking amazing.
Oh, man. This is like winds of change. I'm picturing this already. This is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
This is fantastic. All right, so now you had an affluent upbringing. You're very charming to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
You can get people to kind of do what you want, and you are a musician. What nationality are you? Do you want to roll or do you want to pick?
I want it to be a Polish civilian, but part of me wants, I want to leave it to the dice. Let's see.
Okay, so 1 is U.S., 2 Soviet, 3 Polish, 4 dealer's choice from all over the world.
Okay, I rolled a 1.
All right, so you are American as well.
American.
So everybody's American.
Okay.
Okay,
an
affluent American musician that at 18 does what? Do you want to choose civilian or military? Do you want to roll for it?
So I want to choose civilian.
Okay. Civilian career, and do you want to roll your career or do you want to choose it?
Is there like options?
Yes, here are the options. Police, crime, like as in you become a criminal, intelligence. Well, you can't do intelligence in term 1. Great. Blue collar, education, go to college, or white collar.
Cool. Okay. Huh.
Sorry, you cannot do white collar either without a term in education. So
great.
You got
I'm gonna education. I'll go education.
Okay, so yeah, we have not had education, and this is making sense. An affluent upbringing.
Yeah,
you're able to
go to college.
Lead one to another. Yeah.
Okay, so you go to college, college boy.
Rich college boy.
Rich college boy.
Don't learn anything in college.
I'm not learning anything from the means. Experience is a dear school, but fools will learn in no other. I learned it all in a book.
Okay.
And this new thing called the internet. It's 1989.
Right. Would you like to roll? There's only 2 options for what you can pursue in college. Do you want to roll for it or do you want to choose?
What are my options?
Your options are liberal arts or sciences.
Let's roll.
Okay. 1 or 2 liberal arts, 3 or 4 sciences.
Great. 3 sciences.
Ooh. Sciences. Okay.
That makes
All
sense
right.
because like people who are musically inclined tend to maybe adapt to scientific thinking too. So
Yeah.
Mathematics and
music of the spheres type stuff.
Okay, I like it. Now you have a choice of skills. Your choices are only the generics: mobility, driving, stamina, and you only get 1 more in the sciences: tech. And so you pretty much have to take tech.
Okay, then I'm taking tech.
All right, so tech becomes a D. Now you could level up tech to a C, or you could put a D in one of those other ones: stamina, mobility, driving.
We got driving covered.
Yeah, we got a driver. Nice French flag. Skids were sporting the French flag on the stream.
and this was a little techie even.
Tech is also very generic. It could take a lot of different forms.
I'll do tech.
Okay.
I'm going to double up on tech. So that's a D now?
It's a C now.
C now, great.
Yeah, tech to C.
Spending all your daddy's money at Radio Shack.
It's a Sam Goody, if you please.
All right, a musician.
I am going to Circuit City, my good man.
Circuit City, amazing. All right, Ross, you now have you have to place your attribute raises, and you have to test your tech to see how you did at school.
Okay. Can I? Joe, I would almost never do this. I would almost never want to double back.
Oh, you want to double back?
Part of me is a little disappointed that I'm American. I really want to go.
Oh, well, change it.
Yeah,
I want to be a Pole. I want this guy.
Okay.
Who does that?
Exactly. We've already got 3 Americans. Who the hell needs another American?
Does that change any of the stuff we've done so far?
Do they have college in Poland?
They do.
Yes, you're fine. It doesn't change anything.
Do they have music?
Oh,
wait, but do they have music?
They have music.
Yes. Ever heard of Chopin? Yeah.
Chopin.
Chopin?
This guy
is pronounced Chopin. Chopin.
Yeah,
Chopin. Yeah.
Chopin.
You always thought it was chopping?
That's what it's read as my American brain.
Yeah. Maybe if you're a rich boy, maybe you pronounce it a little
Maybe you're a
different
rich
than the rest
boy
of
that
us.
went to some rich Polish college. You would know.
Best friends in college. One of my best friends when I went to college, when Ross went to college, was my friend Jeremy, whose dad was a Polish science professor. And when I went home, I visited him once. He's like, the first question my dad's obsessed with class size. The first question he's going to ask you is how many people were in your class. He's like, oh, okay. And then it's like, hello, Mr. Whatever. And he's like, hello, Ross, some. How many people are in your class?
It's a dad, universal dad question.
Exactly. So yeah, great. I'm a techie musical Polish.
Yes, but now we have to see how good you were in school. Did you excel? So now you need to have at least an intelligence of B to take the sciences in college. So you have to level up intelligence at least to B.
Okay.
You could also level it up to C if you want. You can move anything around however you'd like. And you get 3 upgrades, and you can make 1 down to a D to get another upgrade if you'd like.
Great. Okay. Okay. So I can move 3, and I can double up one of those if I drop one more to down.
You can double up one of them, but then you can only move one other one up 1.
Gotcha. I think I'll go. I'll take intelligence up to a B.
Okay.
I'll take empathy to a B. I'll take agility. I'll take agility to a B.
Emotional intelligence.
Actually, and if I bump one of those up to an A, then I've got to drop strength to a D. Is that right?
Strength to a D. Yep.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to bump intelligence to an A and drop strength to a D.
Oh, this is awesome. I mean, it's crazy how this party is like coming together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like in terms of distributing your abilities and everything, it's very session zero. I like this.
It is, yeah. And Ross, too, one thing, if you're affluent in Poland around that time, like your parents are probably in the party. They're probably in the Communist Party. They're party members. So.
Oh yeah. It's just like all day chess sessions and.
Amazing. That is so dead on.
Sipping tea and tying cravats.
Piano in the salon.
Smuggling in bootleg Motley Crue records.
Phenomenal. All right, let's see how good you did in tech. This is going to be a D12 plus a D8, and you need a 6 on one of the die.
How's an 8 sound?
Oh, an 8 sounds like a specialty to me. Do you want to choose your specialty, or do you want me to give you the options and you can choose? I'm sorry, do you want to choose your specialty, or do you want to roll your specialty?
Remember when I was like, I'm going to let the dice guide me, and then I chose everything? Can I choose? What were the options?
Yes, absolutely. I should say it's built so that like you're supposed to choose everything. Like I love rolling, you can roll, but like you're supposed to choose your life path in each term. Your specialty options are chemist, communication, computers, electrician, scientist, linguist.
Computers.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. Specializing in computers. I love it. You do not have
is tech still a C?
Tech is still a C.
Great.
That is correct. You don't level up in order because you succeeded on that. You got a specialty. You don't get the specialty if you don't succeed on that roll.
Excellent.
And that is going to take us to the end of term 1 for everybody. So nice work, everyone. As we're learning this, we'll hopefully move a little faster. But actually, I'm not in a rush at all. I don't give a shit. This is so fantastic. But I do think. I think a change of music is in order. I think that by this point, we might be, odds-wise, starting to move into the 90s, possibly. So, you know what? I'm going to save it for a little bit. Let's keep the 80s going for a second to see what these rolls start to come out as. Term number 2. We're back to Grant. Grant, we have a small-town American sniper.
Hey, listen, I know you've heard this story a million times.
Who in a small town,
right? Who grew up working in his dad's store? Did we say that because you got to learn how to handle inventory and everything? Because you have a quartermaster specialty.
I've decided I ran the small store in Tecumseh, Michigan. Tecumseh is one of my favorite historical figures of all time, and I love that town, and it's like right in between Detroit and Toledo, Ohio, and I'm going to roll right now to see where I left to join the SWAT, because I think it's too crazy to have a SWAT team in Tecumseh. I go to Detroit to join that, so that's where I joined the SWAT there. I grew up in the small town.
This was booming for the SWAT teams in Detroit in the 1980s. That's great.
It's certainly true.
I served under RoboCop.
I'm very disappointed, Dick.
Amazing. All right. You now have a term 2 career. Do you want to keep rolling or do you want to stay in the SWAT? You can keep gaining skills in SWAT-based stuff, or you can move into another life. You're only 20 years old. What do you want to do? You can go to school. You could join the military. There's a lot of options.
I wonder, we're talking about how, I think I remember reading the lore that the World War wasn't surprise, it's World War, it'd been brewing for a while, so part of me wants to kind of join the military after being involved in the SWAT and feeling like I can make a bigger difference, there's another threat.
Yeah, so to point to that, we're not going to go into too great a detail of the alternate history because it's irrelevant. It really doesn't matter to the story of the game we're going to tell of these 4 people. But you should know that it's not sudden, it's not overnight, and it builds for a long time. A draft is instated. People are drafted for a couple of years even before we get to the year 2000, where there's a lot of nuclear sort of disconnect from society and the ability to, have access to your military or to get home, to travel, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, you could absolutely feel an obligation to join the military for a lot of reasons during the Cold War in the 80s.
And actually, that is one sort of lore thing that might affect things here, the way we're seeing it, that you mentioned when we were talking, Joe, was that in this version of history, in our version of history, once the wall fell and the Soviet bloc collapsed, the U.S. changed their military force theory to be fewer troops and higher tech. And that didn't happen in this version, so it's still relatively low tech. Just throw as many people at the problem as you can. So that's the sort of military you're entering. You shouldn't picture.
Yeah, there are so many resources tied up in keeping in maintaining the upkeep of such a massive spread military all over where the Soviets are sort of pushing in.
We never had the peace dividend that we got in the real time.
Right. So your technology is very 80s in terms of your weaponry and your vehicles and all that kind of stuff. So keep that in mind. Okay. So do you want to go in the military?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, military. Do you want to roll for where you go in, or do you want to do? You could do combat arms, combat support, combat service support. Do you want to pick, or do you want to roll?
I feel like at this point, having the sniper training, I would probably start picking kind of what I have, right? I shape the character, so does combat arms make the most sense for me?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so I'll go military combat arms.
Okay, military combat arms. That then you meet the requirements. You are 20 years old, and you start as a private, and you will be able to upgrade these following skills: close combat, heavy weapons, ranged combat, recon. You get 2 upgrades or 2 upgrades to one of them.
Oh God, I think close combat makes a lot of sense, but I'm so far away. I think, can I do close combat and recon?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Close combat to a D and recon to a D.
Great.
Terrific. Now let's see if you get promoted during this term. You're going to roll close combat or recon, your choice.
All right, I'm going to roll.
I think your better odds are close combat, right? Because that's a strength-based skill, is it not? Or is it agility?
So I'll be rolling with a skill level D. I roll a D8.
You'd roll a D6 with a
okay.
D, and then a D12 with an A.
Perfect. Rolling that right now. That is a 7 and a 4.
Okay,
Nice.
so you not only get promoted, but you get a specialty. Would you like to choose your specialty or roll?
I'll roll on that specialty.
All right, roll on it.
D6.
D6.
1.
1 is rifleman. All right, so this makes sense. It's all fitting together. So your specialty is rifleman. As long as you have a rifle and maybe at range with your sniper and rifleman combined, you're going to get bonuses to any of those rolls as we play the game.
Awesome.
You also get promoted, and I want to do promotions a little differently. I want to have a little bit more fun with them. There are so many so many levels that it's really very hard to imagine you having a promotion to a level, that's sort of like an officer status, you know what I mean, or anything like that in this game, unless you went the officer route. And I see the reasons for that, but I want to shake things up a little bit and say, like, maybe you did something incredible, could have had the option to get promoted multiple times. So in this case, and I'm sorry, I didn't do that for you, Skid, and we'll go back and retcon that. But when you give me a D3 to see how many ranks you go up in these early phases.
6 on a D6 for a 3.
For a 3, of course. So you go up to a sergeant.
Oh.
So you are a sergeant by the end of this.
Sergeant.
Sergeant, and your coolness under fire goes to C.
Excellent.
Because you got promoted in the military. Nice work. Grant's character as you come up. He's a specialty in sniper, rifleman, and he's now a sergeant in the military. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Oh my God. So much going on. Now D6 for how many years it took you to make sergeant. You're going to roll a 1. It's going to ruin my whole fiction.
2.
2 more years. All right. So you're only 22. You're a 22-year-old sergeant. Well, because of your time in SWAT. Now we are going to do an aging roll. You're going to roll a D8. If you roll a 1 on a D8, your 22-year-old age is going to start catching up to you. Go ahead and roll a D8.
5.
Okay, you're fine there. And then roll another D8.
1.
Ooh. What does
Oh
it?
no.
That
Does it
means
War breaks out.
Oh,
So, Grant, you are done. You are done building this. Not completely done. But war broke out when you were a 22-year-old sergeant through your first term of combat arms. I want you to start thinking about what you were doing over there, where you were, all that kind of stuff. It's not that important in terms of like where we're going to end up, but just start thinking about it, because I'm going to come back to you and you're going to have a war term where you're going to get to choose more skills to upgrade and stuff as part of the war term. Holy shit, it happened. So you are only 22 in 2000. So you're born in 1978. 19,
wow.
Right? 1982. What? I'm screwing this up. 1978.
You got it right the first time.
78, yeah.
Yeah, 1978. Brilliant. All right, nice work, Grant. You're off to war. Okay, let's move on to Kate. We'll come back to you, Grant, on the war term. I'm going to write on your sheet, war, really big. See, now I'm glad I made you a sergeant instead of just a private first class. This
You
is
didn't
little
make
more
me a
fun.
sergeant. I made myself a sergeant.
Yeah,
and so did the
that's
U.S.
fair.
military.
That's fair. We return to Kate. This character we don't know yet, but we know is a driver, a racer from a small town. Go ahead. What
I do know her a little bit more now.
Oh, okay. All right. Fill in the details.
I thought it'd be fun. Car culture in the 80s if she was into like sort of what they were doing in LA, like lowrider culture. But since she's from a small town, she's from like Encinitas, because Encinitas was like founded in like the 80s or something. So she's from like Encinitas.
You're already talking like it. Like Encinitas was like founded in the 80s or something.
Something, I don't know.
Whatever.
Anyway, she has a lowrider. Her name is Savannah.
Oh my God.
This is
awesome.
So goddamn fantastic.
Yeah.
She always brings it. Kate always brings it.
That's why, she's the best. Savannah, I love it. And now I can refer to her by name, which I love. Savannah, however, failed to get promoted in her first term in the military. And so you decide to leave and go into the civilian sector, and more specifically, intelligence. Mm-hmm. All right. Looking at your attributes, there's a lot of requirements in intelligence. You cannot be an agent because you don't have a term in education. You can't be an assassin because you need to be an agent first. But you can be paramilitary. So you are a paramilitary intelligence officer, and you're going to be able to choose from these skills: heavy weapons, ranged combat, survival.
I'm looking at these and I'm trying to, so with the specialty, you can be a brawler, rifleman, machine gunner, combat engineer, improvised munitions, or tactician.
Yes.
Now that I've thought of what Savannah was in the beginning, I don't know if this makes sense if I can't be like an assassin or something, because I thought like that would be cool.
Yeah, and that's fair.
About paramilitary.
Yeah, that's fair, and that's my fault because I didn't say you had to go into education. I just missed that detail. But I mean, I'll let you completely redo the second career, but I don't think we can go back and redo your first term as education unless you really want to do that, which I'm fine with.
I'm not going to go back because that's going to take too much brain power.
You could
but
like GI Bill. You could be on. So it's like earning money for college, like by
just like I'll try it out. So I do want to re-roll term 2, just like start.
You know what? Actually, I don't care. Fuck it. Fuck them. This is our game. It doesn't matter. We can do whatever we want. So not an assassin. You can't be an assassin because you have to have at least one term as an agent to be an assassin. So, but I will let you skip the education part, and we'll say you're just so naturally gifted. You have a B in intelligence that you can be an agent having done some time in the military. So you can be a young CIA agent and we'll let you do that. And if you want to move to assassin later and war doesn't break out, you can do that because you will have had your term as an agent.
Yeah.
So you have to have, okay, so your skill upgrades now for agent are going to be ranged combat, recon, or persuasion.
Can someone tell me what recon means?
Recon is basically a combination in this game of stealth and perception. So recon is like, it's reconnaissance. It's not only is it finding out information about the enemy, it's also what you're going to roll to see things, to sense things. It's also what you're going to roll to hide from enemies, to be quiet and silent and hidden. That's your recon skill.
I think I like that. So I would just put that to a D.
Okay, recon to a D. You could put recon to C, or you could put another upgrade in ranged combat or persuasion, or stamina, mobility, driving.
Let's see. Stamina, mobility, driving, range combat. I think I want to bump up range combat to a C, and then recon is a D.
Yep. Range combat to C, recon to D. Now that range combat upgrade is coming from your first career in the military. You got that to D. Now as an intelligence officer, you keep your training and you get that to C. Now we're going to see how you did in your second term as an intelligence officer, intelligence agent. You can test ranged combat or recon, your choice. It looks like ranged combat's going to give you the best shot.
Yeah, I want to do that. Ranged combat.
So ranged combat is going to be agility A plus a ranged C. That's a D12 plus a D8.
Awesome.
You need a 6.
Where's my 12? There it is. Okay, I need a 6. Come on. Yes, I got a 10 on my 12.
Oh, nice. Double
Phenomenal.
success.
Sweet.
Phenomenal.
Really? Cool.
Would you like to choose your specialty or roll it?
Let's see. We have intelligence, locksmith, investigator, scout. What's psyops? Does anyone know what that means?
Psyops is the correct answer, is what it is. Psychological operations. It's like Skid. You could explain it better than I can.
It's like sort of it's the winning hearts and minds kind of thing that they're trying to do. It's honeypot type stuff. It's like it's all like classic like James Bond like.
It's like and it's on a larger scale. It's like you would be in a division that was trying to get like the people of Cambodia to like eschew communism, not by like threatening them with like, if you go communist, we're going to declare war. It's where you make them culturally want to be capitalist by like doing all of these like hidden secret operations that like change the culture of the country you're going in. It's like a very like deep and creepy and detailed sort of form of intelligence.
There's actually there's a great example of this. I listened to a podcast about this. There was a rumor going around that someone at the CIA actually wrote the Scorpion song "Winds of Change," which I brought up earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like a big hit like all through Europe, and it came like just before the wall fell, and it was cited as this big reason why like people were ready to abandon communism and everything. And so that would, whether that's true or not, that would be the kind of thing that you might have been involved in.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool because like I didn't do so well with my term 1 military training. I didn't get promoted. It's kind of like, I'm not that great at combat support, but I'm good at this, maybe.
Right.
So PsyOps sounds cool.
Oh, cool. Okay. PsyOps. Fantastic. And that's it. You're not military. So I think, now we need to age you. So go ahead and roll a D6. Let's see how many years you've been an intelligence agent.
D6 got a 3.
Okay, so you're now 23 years old. Now roll.
When you're 23.
Now roll it. You know what? We should move it into the 90s. So now you are roll a D8, and you want to avoid a 1.
A D8. Do I have one of those out? Yes. A 3.
Okay. Now roll another D8, and this is to see if war breaks out.
5.
Okay, war does not break out. You continue on, and with that, we'll bring it over to Skid. And you're right. It is time to bring it into the 90s. Let's bring it into the 90s.
What's it going to be?
Here we go.
Yeah.
Starting off with Skid, who loves 90s alternative rock.
90s alternative rock.
We're coming back to this working class French brawler who went into the military and combat service support, got trained in medical aid and ranged combat, got promoted to corporal. Actually, let's retcon that. So go ahead and give me a D3 roll. This could be big.
Cracked eye.
Oh man. 3 again? You are a staff sergeant.
Sergeant. Oh, actually,
Staff sergeant.
let's have. Let's see. I am actually an adjutant.
Adjutant.
Oh no, wait. No, I'm a major.
I love
Major.
that. Are you looking at the chart in the book with the
Yeah.
equivalents? I love that chart.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
C'est major. C'est always around 9. The major.
All right, so you are a staff sergeant, and it is time to choose career 2. What would you like to do in career 2? You are. Oh wait, we didn't roll your age.
Oh, right.
A D6, 18 to
6.
24. All right, so now you're 24 years old going into career 2. That makes sense. So you're a staff sergeant. That took a long
Well, the
time.
French, they take their time too. You know,
That's
they're
true.
not
That's
rushing.
That's true. Nobody's rushing. They're French. They're not
midnight.
Russian.
It ends at 3.
All right, what would you like to do for career 2, buddy?
I want to go to college.
You want to go to college? I love it.
college.
Okay, education, civilian education.
It's like Game of Life.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to go on the left path.
A little late at 24, but who cares? Nobody cares. You now have to determine if you want to do liberal arts or sciences.
I'm going to liberal arts.
I'm sorry, you are good because you have an empathy of C. Okay, you have to have at least an empathy of C to do liberal arts. Yeah, which is so funny. Okay.
The liberal arts I know.
That's right.
The only skills that you get access to is persuasion. That's the only career-based skill. Then you have stamina, mobility, driving. So what would you like to level up in your time in college?
I'll take persuasion.
Persuasion to a D. And then you get one more upgrade. Could be persuasion to C, or it could be driving, mobility, stamina.
C. I'll take persuasion up to C.
Persuasion to C. Love it. All right, so now roll a persuasion C roll with your empathy to C. So that's 2d8, and you need a 6 to see how you did in school.
Oh, come on. How are my grades?
This is tough, buddy.
Nope.
Nope. Oh, failure.
I have an undiagnosed learning disability. Grow up a working class. It's just sometimes the teachers, they just assume.
All right, now age again. Roll a d6 for age from 24 to
25.
Oh, 1 year. Oh, that makes sense. You failed.
Good
It
for
hasn't
1
been
year.
not that much time has passed.
Yeah.
You're 25. Now roll a d8. Let's see if age is catching up to you.
Okay.
25-year-old Frenchman.
5.
You're fine, and then roll another d8 to see if war breaks out.
Okay, so it's two or one?
Just one.
Just one. And by the way, this dice roll represents the exact kind of tension that we all lived under every day in the 1980s.
Yes, truly.
1!
Whoa!
Oh no!
Classes
whole
are, how
plan.
you say, cancelled. War has been declared.
I've been showing college so much.
That makes
I was
sense.
out as a
Yeah.
military. I had to go back in. I had a whole plan. I had a whole fucking plan. Ruined.
Oh, so rough, Skid. That's brutal. But we will come back to you for a war term, and you will get to make a few changes and tweaks and stuff, and so you could talk about that. You're also going to basically get drafted. That's what happens, is you get drafted. So we'll talk about that when we come back around. All right, it is now back to our good buddy Ross. Oh my God, I forgot you were a rich piece of shit from Poland. You immediately went off to college, got your tech up to C. You're a specialist in computers. Do you have an identity forming yet, or are you still keeping it open? Do you have a name or an identity yet?
Christoph.
Christoph, okay. How do you spell it? K or with a
K.
K, Christoph. K and
yes.
F?
Yeah, let me. I'll come back to me.
You mean for name?
No, just spelling.
Oh yeah, no. We don't have to worry about that for a while.
Okay,
Let's
okay.
move on to your second career. You've been in education. You can still do education if you'd like. You can keep going to school. We didn't do your age either.
Oh, yeah.
Roll a d6. Catch up on your age.
Great. Here we go. 2.
So you're only 20. You could do another term in education if you'd like, or you could do something else.
Yeah, this character seems to be somebody who enjoys the coddling, hallowed halls of academia. Yeah, let's stay in.
Okay, another term in education, and I assume another term in sciences.
Yes.
Okay, that brings you back to tech. So
Great.
you have tech, or you have mobility, driving, stamina.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, tech would seem to make sense there.
Okay, so tech to B.
Great.
And now what? You get one more upgrade, or you could make tech A, or you could do driving, mobility, stamina.
I'll do stamina.
Okay, stamina, very important for living in the
Starting to work out.
current apocalyptic scenario once you're in war. Okay, let's see how you did in school. Go ahead and give me a tech roll. That's going to be a D12 now plus a D10, and you need a 6.
I rolled a 10.
Okay, you can add another specialty beyond computers.
Okay, what are my
Chemist,
options?
communications, electrician, scientist, linguist.
Linguist.
Ooh.
Oh, this is going to be freaking great. You're going to speak perfect English, and you could also translate. Oh, this is going to be great.
I also think that as this is forming, I think this guy is like, maybe if he has party official parents, as he's in college, is maybe getting some of those aforementioned winds of change, learning a little bit more about the West and becoming more enamored with it, and learning the lingo, getting into music, getting into underground club life, staying up all night, and going in and doing his studies. The stamina is becoming important. Perhaps with some recreational chemicals to keep that stamina going.
Yeah. I love it.
I'm seeing this. I am seeing this. This is fantastic. Go ahead and give me.
Boy in his blue jeans.
These are real. It's a real Jordache. Yeah.
Jordache. Give me a D6 to see how many years it took to get this linguist specialty.
1.
Oh my God, you're only 21.
Oh, wow.
So young.
Genius.
All right. We had private tutors, so he's a few years ahead.
Private tutors. Give me a D8 roll for aging.
Okay. 2.
Okay, and now give me a D8 roll for war.
Okay. 6.
Oh. 6. Okay, you made it through. You son of a bitch.
You aren't stuck with a college party boy.
All right, now we come back.
Computers and guitar.
Well, you know what? I'll leave it up to you guys as a group. Would you like me to do the at-war term with Grant and Skid in turn, or do you want me to wait until the other two are at war before we do the at-war term? What do you guys think? Grant and Skid.
Let's just do our at war now.
Okay, great. Yeah. So at war, you now get to, Grant, you can advance any 2 skills 1 step each.
That I already have?
No. Any skills from the entire list, 1 step each, and you can sort of explain why that happened.
Oh, gosh. Well, the common skills of stamina, driving, mobility all seem important, but we have driving covered with the party composition. Although, Sergeant, what did I write down his name as? Sergeant Michael Christopher James, which were 3 of the most common names in Michigan at the time of the adventure. God. I guess it makes most sense for him.
You know what, Grant? You don't have to choose it under fire right now. Like, you could take your time.
Yeah, I think I'll take the time.
Yeah, why don't you take the time and decide how that shakes out? And as long as you want to keep rolling the dice, do you want to roll one more to see what your final... You get 1 final specialty as you go into war.
Oh, absolutely.
You want to roll for that? Your last career was in the military, so go ahead and give me a D6. This will give you your last specialty.
3.
This is embarrassing. NBC? I don't know what that means.
It's one of the 3 most popular networks.
It's where
I can name the entire Thursday night lineup.
It's where I watch Jay Leno, the best late night talk show host of all time.
Nuclear biological chemical suit.
Oh,
there you go.
Amazing. So you have a specialty in nuclear biological chemicals.
That's useful.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know.
I'd never heard of that.
I googled NBC military, and that's like an NBC. It's a nuclear biological and chemical suit.
It's a suit. It's a specific type of military personnel.
NBC training is nuclear biological and chemical disposal technicians taking part in training.
Dude.
I don't know.
Dude. That is so huge.
Yeah,
that is so huge because what we did not get into yet, and what we will get into once everybody is at war, is you have to realize there is massive radiation problems worldwide. And so, like, that is a fantastic specialty to have. I never even noticed that one. That's great.
So
Grant.
that is, it's a +1 modifier to stamina for all infection rolls, even those triggered by radiation or chemical agents. Lets you identify nuclear, biological, and chemical weapon effects to personnel and equipment. I think since that's stamina related, I'm going to increase the stamina skill to D. Okay. From nothing.
Yep, that sounds good.
And then I'm going to throw... we haven't had anyone with persuasion yet, right?
We have multiples with persuasion.
Command?
We got two characters. No, we have no one with command. Let me talk about command mechanically for a second. The highest command skill in the party at the end of this build is going to affect the party's morale. So right now you've got a 0. You have no one with command skill.
Yeah, I like taking command. Even though he's kind of a lone ranger sniper, he decided to take up the leadership role of joining the army, becoming all he can be for his country. And he's got a B in empathy. He's a well-rounded guy. So I wanted to have a skill trained in every category, and that was empathy was the only attribute that I did not have a correlating skill trained in.
Fantastic. I love it. Grant, you can start working on your gear as I move on. Your gear is going to be based on your final career, which is combat arms. So look under the combat arms area, and you can select from there your list of gear. Let me know if you have any questions about that. Wait, I don't see it. Oh, yeah, I see it. It's page 33. Oh, my God, you're going to get like an assault rifle. God damn it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, amazing. Okay. Congratulations, Grant. You're at war. Let's move on to Savannah, who is still Savannah, who is 23 years old. She's an agent for the CIA in PsyOps, a young agent for the CIA in PsyOps. What is your next career? And keeping in mind, you could still be an intelligence agent or you could be an assassin.
That's what I want. I want to be an assassin.
Phenomenal. Just amazing.
Incredible.
I just never saw that coming. It's so funny. I never thought somebody would have an assassin career. Okay. Assassin. Go ahead and give me your skill upgrades between close combat and ranged combat. Pretty straightforward for a...
I already have a C in ranged combat.
That's right.
So I'm going to put a D in close combat.
Okay. Close combat D. Love it. And then you get one more skill upgrade. And don't forget, stamina, mobility, driving.
Stamina, mobility,
Or you
driving.
could make your ranged combat a B if you want it. You know, if you want to be great with a gun, you have that option.
That would be good. Let's see. Mobility, we don't have anyone with mobility, but...
That's true. Mobility is a very important general skill.
I'm torn between driving to C or ranged combat to B.
Ask the group. Poll the group.
What do you all think?
I think you're a driver through and through. I think you should just max out driving.
You're a driver. You're a winner.
Heard.
Go for it.
So driving's
Punch the
going
gas.
to C.
Yeah. Punch it.
Punch it. Driving to C. Okay. Go ahead and give me a close combat check to see how you did as an assassin.
Oh, geez. Okay, so I have a B in strength, which means I do the D10. D10.
And then plus a D6. And you need a 6.
And I need a 6.
And you...
oh, I got a 9 on my D10.
Oh, my God. You did it. You did it. Okay. Oh, my God. Look at this list, dude.
Well,
look at this
I can
list
be
of specialties.
And like a killer, an interrogator, a sniper, a martial artist, improvised munitions, or an infiltrator.
Oh, what are you? What are you even?
She's a human weapon.
She is. Oh my God. That's
These all
awesome.
sound so cool. I'm gonna roll.
Oh, okay. I love it. I love it.
So D6. I got a 5. That's the one I was like, I don't know about that one.
Improvised munitions.
Oh, you said
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, but I mean, in this world state, improvised munitions could be amazing. Like you could make explosives out of the things you have on hand. You could figure out how to make weaponry in a place where there's just no weapons. But I'm happy with you repicking. I don't care.
That makes sense because it kind of ties in like this new thing that I'm doing, being an assassin. And it brings in like the tinkering aspect from like working on cars.
Yeah.
So that
Yes.
actually makes sense.
It does make sense.
Okay, I'm
Good
gonna write
idea.
that down.
All right, improvised munitions.
Munition.
Also, keep in mind that in the world, in the midst of World War III, the economy has collapsed. The world economy has collapsed. One of the primary sources of bartering and exchange is munitions. So, like, if you are able to, it's almost like printing money.
Yeah.
If you can do improvised munitions. All right, let's age you. You are 23 now. How old are you after your term as an assassin?
D6. I got a 5.
Ooh,
I'm
28. Oh, I love this. All right, so now she's 28. And now go ahead and roll a D8. Oh, I'm sorry. A D8 for aging.
D8. I got a 2.
You age.
What does that mean?
You must pick an attribute to lower by 1 as you begin to feel the effects of age.
Uh-oh. So does that mean
Amazing!
Strength, agility, intelligence, or empathy? Or does that mean
yes, strength, agility, intelligence, or empathy have to go down 1 as at 28 you begin to feel the effects of age.
Brutal.
I don't want to let go of my empathy's already at C. My agility is at A, but I kind of want to keep that high.
Just throwing it out there. You really could afford to drop empathy. You're an assassin. You're a trained killer. Like, I think it makes sense.
Like the slow loss of your humanity after killing.
Like training in this aged me emotionally.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. So
not just training, like doing the work, like going out and murdering people on an international stage.
Something about murdering people just really ages your soul.
It does. It's so true.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
She's 29, but she's a soul 50.
Yeah. Yeah.
She has a soul of a 50-year-old murderer. All right.
So
another D8.
The war roll.
The war. Ooh.
It would actually be good if I rolled a 1 here, because the stuff I would get.
Oh my God! Well, you could just keep being an assassin all the way to the war, if you want.
Right.
You have that option.
I got a 3.
Okay, so no war yet. Moving on to Skid. Skid, we are at your war term, where you get 2 skill upgrades, any 2 skills of your choice, and a new specialty.
Okay, I'm still so heartbroken.
I know
that war broke out. I had a whole plan.
You should talk to your fellow people that you meet about what you're going to do after the war, the plan you had.
No, it was it was a plan for the game. So it was anyway. All right, so I'm going to because he got wrenched, he's been in the reserves, he got pulled back in after 1 year at university. I think I'm going to boost up my medical aid to a C.
Okay.
That's a little bit of a specialty there. And then I'm going to get my stamina up to a D.
Smart.
I think I'll need that.
Your stamina roll comes up when you have death rolls, death saves, that kind of stuff. Stamina is what you're going to roll.
So, and then specialties, where are the specialties?
Your specialty is your specialty should be other, I think. Because you're none of those things unless you're none of those things. So go other.
Okay.
Which gives you a choice between racer, hunter, forager, quartermaster, scrounger, improvised munitions.
I'll do scrounger.
Scrounger. Okay, you guys need this. You guys need somebody who can go and scrounge supplies.
He's from a working class background, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's right. Yeah, working class background. Love it. Okay, does that? Okay. Sorry.
So y'all just
straight out the
finished,
MTV buzz bin.
y'all just finished your 3rd term?
All
that
right,
was my 3rd.
Wow.
Yeah. So, Skid, you're drafted into the military, and you have to take a military specialty, but one is scrounger under military. So you're good.
Oh, okay.
You can use scrounger. Great. I was just rereading the rules, but that is the way that works. Fantastic. Moving on to Christoph.
Which, just for clarity, is spelled KRZYSZTOF.
Awesome.
KRZY.
ZYSZTOF.
Awesome.
Phenomenal. Christoph. All right. When we last left Christoph, I mean, he was really specializing in tech. He became a linguist. He's got a tech of B, two terms in education in the sciences, a stamina of D because of his late nights as he starts to explore the culture of the West without his parents knowing, without his rich parents knowing. Different kind of party, knowing. What are you going to do for career term 3?
All right. What are my options?
The world is your oyster, dude. You're a genius. Do you want to go into the military, or do you want to get like a white collar job, or do you want to go into intelligence? I mean,
or you could go into a life of crime.
Yes, or you could become a white collar criminal.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's intriguing.
You could be a burglar.
Or you could roll for it. The way that I imagine rolling for it at this stage is like you could literally roll for it. There's no reason you can't. And I imagine it as like you never know who you're going to meet.
Right.
And you can meet people in life that just sort of like shape the course of your life. You know, if you met somebody that you fell in love with or something and they're like, oh, I'm in the military, or, you know, I'm doing this, I'm in a life of crime. You could get swept into a world of crime. Like,
makes total sense. Let's roll it. That'd be a 6.
Yeah, it's going to be a 1 or a 2 to see civilian or military.
Okay.
50-50.
Great. Military.
Okay. So you decide to go
a shocking turn.
In a shocking turn, you go into the military, and with your skill range, you could be an officer because you have a term in education. You should just be an officer.
What?
Unless you don't want to do that, you don't have to. You could go into combat arms, but
seems
you
like
have to have an intelligence in B.
I do.
And at least 1 term in education.
I do. So yeah, I would pick officer, and if there's like a more desk-bound, tech-centric.
Yes. Yes. I love it. All right, so you go in to be an officer. Your skill choices are ranged combat. You actually have to take ranged combat.
Okay.
If it's your first term in the military, you have to take ranged combat, and you get 1 more skill upgrade between ranged combat, command, and persuasion.
I'll add to my persuasion.
Okay.
So I picked that one once. All of the ones that we've not said, that one's a B, that one's a D. Those are all assumed to be F.
Yes, they are all F. Yep.
So,
which means you don't roll a die. You only roll the attribute. You only roll the requisite attribute die.
So I'm now bumping the persuasion up to a D. Is that correct?
To a C.
Okay.
You took persuasion as in childhood. You learned a lot about persuasion. So now you're persuasion D, and you get a specialty. Go ahead and roll. I'm sorry. You might get a specialty depending on how well you perform as a second lieutenant.
Ooh.
You start as a second lieutenant. Go ahead and roll a persuasion roll, which would be your empathy, which would be a D10 plus a D8.
Okay. I'm trying to beat a 6.
Yeah.
I didn't do it.
Oh, no. Okay. Fail.
So close, but no cigar.
No new specialty and no promotion this term. Go ahead and give me a D6 for aging.
Okay. I don't think this guy likes the military very much. 3.
3. Okay. 24 years old by the end of this term. Go ahead and roll a D8 for aging.
4.
Okay. You're fine. Roll a D8 for war.
Oh. 4.
Okay. War does not break out. Moving on to Savannah. When last we left, she's an assassin, and she's gotten a specialty in improvised munitions. She's got some training in close combat and ranged combat. What do you want to do? Do you want to keep being an assassin?
I think I want to keep being assassin. What does that mean? Do I like reroll my specialties, or
you could if you like get a successful skill roll, but right now you're upgrading skills again. So anything, stamina, mobility, driving, and then the other ones that are under just ranged combat, close combat.
I'm going to put 1 in stamina after you said that thing about death rolls.
Okay.
Just seems like a thing I want to do. So 1 in
smart.
stamina. And then I'm going to add I'm gonna make close combat a C.
Nice.
Oh God, I love it.
This is cool.
Yeah, just like hand to hand. Just a killer. Speaking of which, your choice: stamina or close combat. You have to make a skill roll right now.
Stamina or close combat for sure. So
Okay.
C would be a D8.
D8.
And then strength is D10.
Correct. And you want a 6.
Nope, 3 on both.
Okay, so no new specialty this term. Roll a D6 for aging.
D6 for aging. Got a 3, so I'm 31.
31. Roll a D8 for aging effects.
Oh, come on. Oh, I got 3.
Oh my God, it's happening again. You have to reduce another attribute.
Oh my God.
Okay. So
And you can't reduce your empathy anymore.
This really lets you see like the double-edged side. Like I got out early, but I kept everything high.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you don't have a lot of skills, but your attributes are like you are primed for a beautiful future.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's just like Traveler. The same fucking thing happens in Traveler. I fucking love it. Awesome.
So my strength is B, agility is A, intelligence is B.
B.
B, A, B. I feel like I'm going to just do intelligence at B. I mean, no. Sorry. Agility at B. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So you're going to drop
Reflexes
your
are
one.
slowing.
Yeah, your reflexes are slowing down. Dude, you're 31. That makes sense. You're 31. It's starting to happen.
I wanted to keep it as my best, but it like makes sense.
Okay. Now a D8 for war.
2.
War breaks out.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
War
Oh, because it goes
breaks-
up 1 every time?
Yeah, so basically you need to see if you roll under your current career term, which was 4. So if you rolled a 1, 2, or 3, war breaks out. So war breaks out. We'll come back to you in a second. Let's move on to Christoph. Christoph,
Oh, boy.
who is a second lieutenant trained in range.
Yeah, podporucznik.
Apologies. I don't know. What would you like to do for term 4? Honestly, to be honest, it just makes sense. Like you would keep doing officer. Like I think that at this stage you're still an officer.
Yeah.
So you need to choose your skills among officer. So that would be I forget it every time. Ranged combat, command, persuasion.
Okay. I think
let me just say one more thing about command. I think a lot of people can shy away from command because of the idea that like you would command other players to do things. The whole military structure has collapsed. So while rank may still hold some weight personally between certain kinds of people, you actually they don't have to do anything you say, and it does have a direct impact on unit morale. So I just want to be clear on the which affects like how quickly you flee or how your coolness under fire can be affected by morale. It's an all encompassing thing that says how you handle really brutal situations.
Okay. Yeah. You've made your case. I think I might take command.
Thank God. I just know you as a player. I know you're the kind of player who's like, I'm not going to command anybody. I get it, but like that's the value of that skill.
I think it makes sense too, like with your entertainment background. It's it's so much of it is just keeping our spirits up.
This guy's charismatic to some extent and is like, and I think is able to like get what he wants out of people with or without a military rank involved.
Yeah. All right, you get one more level up. So command, persuasion, ranged combat, driving, mobility, stamina.
I'll take mobility.
Okay, mobility to a D. Okay, love it. And go ahead and roll a skill roll, command or mobility, your choice.
Okay.
It looks like they're both going to be the same roll mechanically.
Okay, I've got a D in command then?
A D in command, and that's under empathy, I believe.
I'll do that. I'll do command.
All right, so it's a D10 and a D6, and you want to get a 6 or higher. You failed in your last term.
And I
for a
succeeded
promotion.
this time.
Oh, succeed! You get a promocione. Okay.
Oh, man.
So you also get a specialty. Would you like the list or would you like to roll?
Woo! Let's, for the sake of like cruising, let's just roll.
Okay, roll it.
A D what?
D6.
Here we go. 5.
Frontline leader. Oh my God! This is not. I'm guessing the character you had in mind when you started.
This guy went through a change.
Yeah.
Wow.
You grew up.
Frontline leader.
You grew up. Damn it.
Okay.
Amazing.
I think maybe this guy had a party boy past, but has become, maybe it's like got leadership thrust upon him and like made the best of it.
Yeah, had to, was forced to. At this point, I think you're getting to the point where you're like, you're in war. You know what I mean? Like, you've done stuff in war, but not the full nuclear fallout war. All right, you get promoted. So go ahead and give me a D3 roll.
Okay.
This is big right here.
Ooh, yeah. Okay. A 1.
Okay, first lieutenant.
Okay.
So you get promoted to first lieutenant, which makes sense. We're getting into the area where I might have to remove the D3 thing, because you're not going to suddenly be a 31-year-old major. 26-year-old major. Go ahead and roll aging, D6. You were 24 previously. What are you now?
Ooh, 5.
Oh, 29. Okay, so a 29-year-old first lieutenant, frontline leader. Roll for aging, D8.
2.
So no, you age. So you have to drop one of your
down.
Attributes down 1. And you already have a D in strength. You have B agility, A intelligence, B empathy.
Okay. Damn. Maybe this frontline-linishness might have, I don't know. That might increase your empathy somewhat.
I like that we started with like 1980s Nikki Sixx, and now we're in like that big headband Nikki Sixx. Like, that's how your musician is aging.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Right. The hairline's creeping back. I think I might also take the agility drop.
Okay, so agility down to a C. As you slow up at the age of 29, like an NFL running back. Okay. Roll for war.
And that's an 8, right?
Yes, D8.
3.
War breaks out.
War. We're all at war.
We are all at war.
It never changes.
Never changes.
Oh my gosh. Guys.
Wow.
Fun is over. We are at war. As we start to get into these last 2 war terms, we're going to do war terms for Kate and Ross, and then we're going to start the group discussing, who you are, what your names are, where you're at, and how you met, and all this kind of stuff. And I have one fun idea planned for that. But for right now, I'm going to switch up the music to get a little bit more serious here. And by serious, I mean 1990s military movies.
Yeah.
Here we go. We're going to start off with Kate, your war term.
It's too serious, Joe. We can't go that far. This is an entertainment show. This is supposed to be fun.
This is like World of Warcraft music.
Yes.
Yeah.
Over dramatic.
World at war.
Yeah.
Crafted music.
Here we go. Starting with Kate, a.k.a. Savannah, the assassin. War has broken out, Savannah. What are your 2 skills you would like to level up? You can pick any 2.
I don't have anything in the empathy column yet, so I wanted to put a D in persuasion.
Okay.
And then I was kind of like stumped for the last one. It's like, what do I want to do? Do I want to be like, since I lost agility, maybe bump up driving or ranged combat? I feel like ranged combat would make sense. About to go into the military. Or put in a D on survival.
So, yeah, it's up to you. You don't have to go into the military. You specifically don't, because what's basically going to happen in your career is like you're essentially going to be doing military operations as an intelligence officer assassin in Poland at this time. It says specifically in the rules, if war breaks out and your last career was spent as a civilian, except for intelligence careers, you have to get drafted or volunteer in the military. Okay. So that did not happen to you. You are not military. You are still an active intelligence officer, which is so fucking interesting because as you meet, you have to realize like you've been cut off from your chain of command.
Ooh. Mm-hmm.
we don't even know if these guys would know your intelligence, right? Like, would you tell them?
Yeah.
Right.
But what would your civilian cover be in Poland as an American?
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, these are.
I know what it is.
Okay, great. Fantastic.
But, okay, I'm going to put both in persuasion. I'm going to make persuasion
You cannot.
C.
You cannot.
Okay.
Yeah, the at war term has to be 2 separate skills.
I'm going to roll a D4 for driving or ranged combat. Just like really go hard on those.
Okay.
So 1, 2 is driving. Where's my D4? 3, 4 is ranged combat. 1. So driving is an A.
Yes, I love it.
Driving
Yes.
is a freaking A. That
I
is
love that you're just an ace driver. I love that. That's so cool.
You're like Tom Cruise in the Mission Impossibles, basically.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
amazing.
I'll have to watch that
Yeah.
movie.
You don't have to.
sorry, Kate. I'm sorry. I don't have
Watch
that.
Ghost Protocol.
I don't
have
think
what?
you're an A. I think you're a B.
Why?
Unless I missed something. I have you in driving as a child, driving as an assassin to C, but that's the only time I have it. You tried to take it once in your first term, but remember we had to take ranged combat instead of driving.
I think
Did you
you're
not-
right. I'm remembering right now erasing a C and being like, yes, A is after that. So you're probably right.
I think that's right. So driving B, which is still phenomenal.
Very,
Yeah.
very good.
Okay.
Okay. Your final specialty is going to be other. So racer, which you already have, right? Racer, hunter, forager, quartermaster, scrounger, improvised munitions. You already have improvised munitions and racer. So, and there's a quartermaster and a scrounger. Why don't you roll a D2 essentially for hunter or forager?
I don't have racer. I have driver. Are those the same thing?
No, you have racer from your childhood specialty.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. I thought it was driver and that was something different.
Yeah, driving is your skill. Racer is a specialty, which means like if you're ever driving against another vehicle, you're going to get bonuses. You know, it's
and
a kind of a
you
neat.
don't want to choose something you've already chosen before. Like I couldn't choose racer or improvised munitions again.
There's no point mechanically.
Okay.
But you can choose quartermaster or scrounger, but those are already in the party. So I was thinking maybe we
Hunter.
don't have a hunter. Yeah.
Hunter.
Yeah. Hunter.
So
Yes.
you're an assassin, and now you have a specialty in hunting, which
Hunter.
I will
Oh, perfect.
absolutely let that cross over
She
from.
blows up deer with improvised munitions.
God,
I have a gun.
The deer
too.
is
she's a
deer are like
difficult assassin.
flying apart
Yeah.
after they hit tripwires in the forest.
Like, boom. Got it.
Yeah, just like big old binoculars.
It's back on the menu.
Meat's back on the menu, boys. Speaking of which, I mean, it's time to get into it. I don't really know if you guys, do you even have binoculars? That's where we're at now. We're gonna start figuring out like what's on your person, how you met, et cetera, et cetera.
I think you skipped Ross.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I skipped Ross's at war turn. I apologize. You're right. Ross, a.k.a. Christoph.
Yeah.
You're at war term, 2 skills, 1 step each.
Great. I might go. I'll bump up command again.
Love it. Command to a
Which
C.
takes it to a C, and I think I'll on the front lines I might bump up linguist.
Linguist is not a skill. That's a specialty.
Sorry. Could I do frontline leader?
That is also a specialty, not a skill.
Sorry.
No, that's okay, buddy. So, I mean, it's mobility, driving, stamina,
There we go.
recon, tech, persuasion, command.
So if I do tech, it would bump it up to a C.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it would bump it up to a B.
A B, yeah.
I'll do that.
Nice.
There we go.
So why do you... Yeah, I guess, I mean, it makes sense. As you said, you were like a desk officer, right? And you were working with
Yeah,
computers and you just kept getting more and more broad. And you are up to speed on like the newest tech, right? Like
Yeah.
even though
Makes
you
sense, yeah.
studied it in college, it doesn't necessarily mean you still know after 6 years pass, but you stayed in the field and now your tech is a B. I love it.
Maybe these frontline operations are maybe more like going out and doing like artillery stuff, trying to do like more tech heavy operations. That have to do maybe with like rudimentary, like whatever this like version of the year 2000's version of like a proto drone technology would be or something.
Yeah, like signaling and radar and that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And that's what I want to see you bring out in the game when we play. You know what I mean? Like draw out those. It's just like Blades in that sense. Like you got to tell me, you got to be like, my guy's specialty in this means I should be able to do this. I'm just like, do it. That's really the way it's going to be played. You have a final specialty in military: Brawler, Ranger, NBC, which sounds so weird to say. It's like NBC.
Dum, dum, dum.
WNBC.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Peacock.
Right. Rifleman, Scrounger, Improvised Munitions. Do you want to roll? Is there something that jumps out at you? I think the only one we don't have in the party is Ranger right now.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay. Ranger. I'll let you think about that. How do you start to get Ranger skills as a desk officer? What happened in these last 6 months as the war creeped up to this point? I mean,
it sounds like that might not be something I picked up. Like, it sounds like something that was thrust upon this guy as the desk maybe was obliterated in a cloud of ash. Yeah. And I began to have to live off the shattered landscape of Krakow or wherever.
My God, listen to the music. It's so sad.
Going
it's
with
so
your
Polish.
story.
It really is, Ross. Heartbreaking, Crystal.
Yeah.
This is great. By the way, we laugh and we joke and we have a good time, but like when we get it, like when I play this game, it's going to be serious. You guys could joke all you want, but like this is war-torn Eastern Europe in the fake World War III. This is brutal. It's horrible.
I want to cry. I want to cry at some point during these episodes.
I'm going to get you there, Kate.
Cry.
I'm going to get you there.
I'll cry.
Oh my God, Ross will get you there, please. We're going to work. We're both going to work toward it.
It's good intense.
I feel like we usually go for funny and entertaining for New Game Who Dis, but it'd be great to try out something just dramatic.
Yeah,
dude,
sad.
I would love that. That is my favorite part to watch, to be on. I want to be on the drama watch. All right, now we move into the final push of creating our characters. Everybody, we can all do this at the same time. Let's everybody calculate your hit and stress scores. Your hit score is going to be your strength die, which is like if your strength die is a D12, the number's 12. So the number of the die. Your strength die plus your agility die divided by 4.
I was going to say, what's B divided by B divided by 4?
B is 10. Exactly.
Solve for B.
It's confusing.
D is 10, C is 8.
8. So that would be 18 divided by 4, which would give you a little over 4, and you round up. So your hit die, essentially not hit die, but your hit score is 5. That's basically your hit points.
Hit capacity, right?
Hit capacity. Thank you, Grant.
Got it.
Your hit capacity would be 5 if that was your score. What's everybody's hit capacity? Is anybody? Oh, yes, 5.
So BB, 10, 10, 20, divided by 4 is 5.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Ross, I mean, that's not right for you. You have a 6 plus an 8. So you have 14 divided by 4. Strength plus agility.
I'm sorry. Yes, a D.
So 14 divided by 4 is going to give you a little over 3. So you'll have 4. Yeah.
That's right.
All right.
Oh, you round
I have
up?
5.
You round up. Yep.
Okay.
So Kate, you have 5.
Yep.
And Grant?
6.
Oh, badass. And Skid?
Yeah. I have 6 also.
Oh, freaking awesome.
Thanks.
Okay, and then do your stress calculation, which is the same formula, intelligence plus empathy die divided by 4. That's going to be your stress threshold.
So A 12, B 10.
Oh, wow. So that's 22 divided by 4. So you're 6. 6 in stress. Oh, this is making perfect sense.
Mine is a
you're
4.
an officer. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
My empathy is at a D, so it makes my stress a 4.
Wow. All right. So
Interesting.
that is interesting with the whole assassin background, but
Maybe she's just closer to a breaking point
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
everything. she's
well,
been through.
that's the thing is like you didn't start out like this. You
Right.
aged into this, and
Right.
you're starting to deteriorate your empathy, and it's like affecting your stress. This is so great. Skid, stress.
4 also. 4.
Okay, 4 and Grant.
5. I seem to get out of things at exactly the right time. I got out of SWAT before it got too hairy, before the funding went downhill in Detroit, and I got into war right after getting my sergeant promotion. And Grant, I've decided to role play this entire session as a means of the United States apologizing to France for the nuclear submarines to Australia. So I'm going to be very nice to Skid's character throughout this
nice.
entire thing.
Wow. Once again, global political events play out in my favor.
Phenomenal. All right, now we want to choose your. You know what? I'm going to push these off. I'll let you guys do these off air. You need to choose your moral code, which is just a sentence. It's just basically a sentence that says something that's important to you, something that if you want to think of it now and you can think of it now, great, but there's no pressure to. The mechanical value it has is during a check, if you believe you are acting directly in line with your moral code directly for this action, you'll get a bonus. If you act against your moral code, you take stress. But then after that session, you can change your moral code. So it's a fun little mechanic that is really kind of narrative based. Going along with that is your big dream for everybody. What this really is what are you ultimately looking for here individually? What is your hope? If you are a Polish officer, ex-musician, who was really enamored with the West and was not so taken in by Soviet whatever, what do you ultimately want to happen to the world, and how do you want to affect it or to happen to you? It could be a selfish pursuit. It could be a selfless pursuit. If you are acting in line with your big dream, you get experience points as determined by the referee.
Cool.
Why don't you guys think about that? We don't have to force that tonight. We're going long, and there's a lot going on here, and I don't want you to rush that. Choose a buddy. Now, the buddy part is going to have to wait, because what we're going to do, hold on, a couple more things. Unit morale is going to be the highest command skill of the group, which is Ross is at a C. Oh, by the way, that reminds me, I wanted to take a step back, and because of the way that we did this tonight, your war term level ups, if anybody wants to change yours after you heard something somebody else did, so basically, Ross, you can't change yours, but if anybody else wants to switch because of what somebody else did in the war term, that's totally fine.
I'm considering a heavy weapon switch after Kate took close combat, just so someone can use heavy weapons.
Do it.
Okay.
Awesome.
You put close combat in your war term, John? No, that was stamina.
I did it in a regular. I did it in term 2, actually, not in my war, John. So I'll leave that as
so
is.
you could swap out command because Ross took command.
Yeah.
But it's up to you.
Is command useful enough of a skill to have 2 people to have it?
I don't know. I haven't played the game either, Grant.
All right. Well,
I
let
don't
me
really
think
know.
about it. Command versus.
Yeah, you can think
Heavy
about
weapons.
it. You can think about it. It's fine. It's not going to come up tonight.
Okay.
But now we get to like name and appearance and all that stuff. Do you guys want to? Are you ready to push forward? Those that don't have, we have Christoph.
Yeah.
We have Savannah. Grant, have you named your character?
I came up with a name. I don't know if I like it. Jeez, I'm just trying to get like a very. I want to sound as much like a character actor cop in like a 1980s TV show. I'm trying to think of something from like the Chicago.
Like Farley.
Era. Yeah, kind of Farley McFarleyson.
I mean, if you're a Midwestern cop, there's a better than average chance that you would also have a Polish last name.
Oh my God, that could be.
Krasinski.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. Wierzbowski.
Waldowinski.
Love a good Wierzbowski.
Bowski.
Where's Bowski? Where's Bowski?
Where's
Lebowski,
Apone?
of course.
I want to go with Wozniak as my last name.
Yeah.
Wozniak.
And I want that to be like a crossways Apple shout out to the tech in the actual Polish guy. Mm-hmm. So
that's
Sergeant.
Right.
Sergeant
Ken Wozniak. No, what's your first name?
Chris? It's Chris, right?
Yeah, Sergeant Chris. Sergeant
We've got
Chris
a Christoph
Wozniak.
and a Chris. I like the similarities here. This is great. Sergeant Christopher Wozniak. My God, it's just a real dude is what that is.
And I am Christoph Jobs.
I can't wait for you to screw me over.
Think I know who your buddy's going to be.
Yeah, seriously. Christoph Jobs. Skid, do you have a name?
Yeah, my name is, I'm half Algerian, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, so my name is Denis Lazar.
Awesome.
Denis Lazar.
Denis.
Denis Lazar.
So
Bonjour, Denis.
Yeah.
okay.
And then Christoph's real last name is Jorski. Christoph Jorski.
Jorski. Got it.
That's Polish for jobs, clearly.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's totally not
Jorski.
the name of my kindly Polish landlord back in Chicago.
Okay. Now we have. Okay. Did you guys write down your gear by any chance? Did you choose your gear?
No.
All right. So your gear is based on your last career. And what's the matter, Grant?
I just wanted to grab a little bit from one career, a little bit from the other career, and have a little grab bag. Maybe I grabbed the night vision goggles from the SWAT team and brought them with me to the U.S. Army.
That would make sense, but they don't allow it, and I guess for a reason.
That's fine.
Because probably when you go into the military, you're stripped of everything, and they just like,
No, that
especially
makes
when
sense.
you're combat arms, and you are in basic training.
But I brought my gun from home.
Right. All right, Grant. So going down the list, you have an assault rifle, LMG or ATRL. D6 reloads. Did you roll your reloads?
I did, and I have 6 reloads, of course.
Oh, of course. Phenomenal. Flak jacket and helmet, knife, or D6 hand grenades. Which do you take? You got to decide right now, Burger.
Yeah, I mean, I have close combat installed as a skill I have, and I'm strong, and it's got to be the knife. I got to be ready to just like go toe to toe with anyone.
Love it. Knife, a personal med kit, and a backpack. You're done. That's it. I do kind of like the gear. So there is intense gear mechanics, but they sort of just give you your gear at character
I
creation.
picked out the rifle too, if it matters.
Yes, the assault rifle.
Yeah, I went with the M16A12, which has a bit more range and ties into my sniper and rifleman background. I was tempted to take an LMG, but I don't have any specialties that tie into it. And I was tempted to take a anti-tank missile launcher, but I felt like that would have limited utility and would be a real shame if we didn't find a tank in this randomly generated thing.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it is definitely randomly generated, but make no mistake, if you had a fucking anti-tank missile and you were like, I want to go tank hunting, we would play a tank hunting adventure. That's the thing. This is where we're at. We generate it based on our characters.
Also, if you ran into an enemy, a group of enemies riding in a pickup truck, you say, all I have is this anti-tank missile launcher.
I'm sorry.
Useless.
I'm sorry.
It's not anti-pickup truck.
Curse my luck.
Well, you know what, Grant? I don't want to push it. You think about it, buddy, because we can definitely come back. Skid, let's gear up, good buddy. You left in education, which means you were drafted, which means you have the same exact gear as Grant, which means you pull from the combat arms. Yep. Assault rifle or light machine gun, D6 reloads, flak jacket and helmet, etc. Why don't you go ahead and figure that out, and I'll come back to you. I want to, I'm going to skip Kate because she's the absolute best one. And we're going to go to Ross. Mm-hmm. Ross as an officer. Oh, this is so great. Ready?
Yes.
And this is going to be Polish. So I don't know if they have lists of Polish weapons or if they're anyway. We could use the Soviet weapons if they don't have Polish weapons. Cool. Pistol or submachine gun. Your choice. Positives and negatives to both.
This guy seems light and ready. Pistol.
Now, he's an officer, dude. Pistol, sidearm. D6 reloads. Reloads are very important because you will run out of ammo, and when you do, you are done until you find bullets somewhere.
6.
Oh, okay. You will not run out of
5.
ammo in this. Oh, okay. Great, Skid. Phenomenal. Oh, dude. All right, Ross, this is big. You get to choose a man-pack radio or night vision goggles.
Ooh. With linguistics, got to be radio.
Okay, taking the radio. Love it. Flak jacket,
Okay.
knife, or D6 hand grenades.
Hand grenades.
Yeah, that is the correct answer.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll a D6.
And
You already have a knife in the party.
Right.
We already
And
have a knife.
And I get 1 lonely hand grenade.
Oh, I love it. You have one grenade. I love it.
Always were an asshole, Gorman.
You always were an asshole, Corbin. And a personal med kit. That is finishes your loadout. Let's move on to Kate.
Yeah.
Kate.
My gear.
Go on.
So I get to choose between a sniper rifle or a submachine gun that's suppressed.
Yeah.
So, right? Like
Yeah.
I was like maybe a sniper rifle because I'm assassin, but a suppressed submachine gun sounds so cool.
Also an assassin's weapon.
Yeah?
Especially because Grant is a sniper already, so.
Right. That's So that's what I figured.
He
too.
is a sniper. He's got a somewhat long range rifle.
Okay.
I don't know. The suppressed submachine gun means you could murder someone with a gun and have no one within a reasonable range hear it, which like nobody else in your party could do that.
Yep.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can go into an apartment building, kill someone on the 4th floor, and then get out, and like people be like, "What was that?"
Yeah.
Right. Whereas like anybody else takes a shot, everybody else is going to have to rely on not Ross throws his grenade. Everyone,
for the best.
everyone in a half-mile radius is going to know that grenade went off.
All right.
Crank up
So
the
I don't-
radio
I
to
don't
really
know-
amplify it.
I know in the weapons.
What a
you
leader.
can- I know in the weapons you can choose like what kind. I don't know. I'm going to look through that on my own time.
Yes,
But I am
we'll do
going
that.
to choose suppressed submachine gun, and then I get
Okay.
D6 reloads.
Okay, roll that.
Got a 3.
Okay, 3 reloads.
She never misses, so it doesn't matter.
No, you know what that means. She had 6. She's already used 3.
That's what that means.
Dude, she used them
exactly
on.
what that means. I get a
Love-
radio
love
or
this
binoculars.
choice. Radio or binoculars.
So since Ross chose radio, I feel like I gotta choose binoculars.
Yeah.
Like, it
Love
makes sense.
Yep.
Makes perfect sense.
So-
Hunting down your prey.
Oh yeah, right. I forgot I was a hunter. And then a knife or explosives. I mean, we already have a knife in the party.
We can share the knife, Kate. I promise to share my knife with you.
And with my like explosive background, I feel like it just
Right,
says general explosives.
Gotta take explosives.
Yeah,
Right?
God,
Yeah.
improvise all kinds of things.
What if MacGyver was a murderer?
So like I don't know what that means, like what I actually have, or do I just like flavor it?
You have C4 or you have mines and you know what, you can make the decision at the time. Like if you're like, this is what would be the perfect thing. Like I've got some C4, I've got some plastic explosive I could attach to this vehicle, or you're like, I want to set some mines in the doorway. Like you could do any of those things under the term explosives.
Okay, cool. And then I get a personal med kit.
And a personal med kit. Terrific. Oh God, what I should have been doing is looking up group gear, which I forgot. Oh wait, I found it. Oh, see, like, because I prepped, gentlemen. Here we go. This is big. Everybody go to page 18 of the player handbook. You get to choose 4 total items from this list, 1 for each of you. What's it gonna be?
One for each of us. Okay.
I'm gonna rattle down the list real fast, and you guys can talk it out. Backpack, a bow and arrows, any pistol or shotgun, any sniper or hunting rifle, any LMG or GPMG, any GL or ATRL, D6 magazines or reloads for any weapon, 2 ammo belts for any machine gun, D6 reloads for any grenade or rocket launcher, D6 hand grenades, a dirt bike with half a tank of fuel, a basic toolkit, binoculars, D100 liters of fuel, in jerry cans, D6 personal med kits, D6 rations of food, D6 rations of clean water. Sorry. Before we do that, I forgot everybody needs to roll their own personal rations and water real fast. D6 rations and water each.
Separate rolls.
Yes, D6 food, then D6 water. So, and then jot that down.
1 food, 5 water.
Okay, that is much better than 5 food, 1 water.
Yeah.
So
I got 3 and 3.
The mechanics of food are you have to eat a ration a day. If you don't, you start getting sick and you lose a hit point every like D something days that you don't eat or whatever it is. And like with water, it's every day. Every day you don't have water, you just drain hit points until you're doing stamina rolls and you die.
Great.
So yeah, it's intense. Anybody get anything alarming? Alarmingly low? Okay.
2 rations, but 6 water.
Oh, great.
Christoph's doing a cleanse right now.
Yeah.
One more thing to add on, you get D6 rounds of ammunition. These are not reloads or clips. These are D6 rounds of ammunition, which are essentially currency in the world.
I think that, Ross, you should think about making Christoph, with those few rations and as a musician, look like the Thin White Duke era of David Bowie.
Yeah. In my head, like, yeah, exactly. It's like, to me, it's like late 90s, like up for 5 days on ecstasy raver, like real sunken cheeks and like if he was out of uniform, it would be track jacket and just ready to go. Doing jump style techno dancing.
Perfect.
Jump style.
Krakow Terrible.
Let me see if I get. Hold on.
We all know. Exactly.
There we go. Yeah.
This is what is playing in Christoph's head at all times.
Beautiful.
His youth, his misspent youth.
It's misspent youth. Oh, until they dragged him into the core.
He's the only one of us who really lived before this happened.
I know, right?
I
know.
Yep.
Oh my
Envious.
Oh God,
What might
90s techno.
what might have been if the world hadn't fallen apart.
If only the world hadn't fallen apart. All right, now let's go back to that group gear. I read it off once for the listeners and the viewers. You guys go ahead. What are your choices here?
All right.
I'm choosing between either the bow and arrow or the dirt bike. Both of those are like super specific to my interests.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to see what anyone else does, if anyone else wants either of those things.
Well, I think because we will get a vehicle also, probably.
Yes, I will give you a vehicle because Kid has driving, so you will have a vehicle.
Yeah.
Then take that bow.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do the bow and arrow. And when you said to roll rounds, that's not the same as reloads?
No, the D6 rounds of ammunition is sort of like currency.
Okay, got it. So
Loose cash.
I'm going to choose bow and arrow. 6 arrows. Let me roll that. 2 arrows.
A bow and 2 arrows. What do you guys? By the way, this is group gear, so it's literally like everyone can weigh in, and you guys can decide who has what, but you can only choose each item one time.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should get the LMG.
Yeah.
For Grant to use.
Should I do LMG or should I do sniper?
Oh yeah,
lay down sniper.
Yeah.
So you
there
can
we
get
go.
actual sniper rifle in addition to your assault rifle, your ranged assault rifle.
Yep.
Okay, so that's sniper rifle and bow and arrow off the list.
Man, I don't see turntables on this list, so
Oh my God.
I mean,
You can get food. You can get
I'm like
water.
with the food. No, see, this is the kind of decisions that a leader makes to make the unsexy but practical choice, and maybe rations is the way to go.
Yeah.
And that also might come in handy for currency if we run into hungry people.
True.
let's do rations.
Okay, D6 rations. Don't roll a 1, Ross.
Roll for it,
I know.
Lieutenant.
4. I rolled a 4.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
4
That's
more
leadership,
rations
baby.
that you can hold on to. Skid.
I think I'm torn between. Oh, a shotgun would be nice. Okay, this is I'm torn between shotgun, a toolkit, and fuel. Fuel is so huge. At least it was like in the original
It's huge,
game.
dude. It's huge.
Huge.
That's what I was wondering after I chose bow and arrow. I was like, should I have chosen fuel? Because of, like, I feel like I'm responsible for the vehicle. So, like, I don't know.
But then who's going to be responsible for the archery?
Yeah.
You got to think it through, Kate.
I know.
I think fuel. Fuel is so enormous
That seems wise.
That was one thing that was commonly done in the original game was you would build a still, like an ethanol still that mounted on your vehicle if you were lucky enough to like make like corn alcohol or wheat alcohol to fuel your car with.
Yeah, a lot of cars are fueled by alcohol in this.
Yeah. So I will roll for fuel.
Just like Kristoff is fueled by alcohol.
Exactly.
Right. 65.
Nice.
65 liters.
Oh, 65 liters of fuel. All right, so you got fuel, bow and arrow. Okay. Oh my gosh. We got group gear. Now we do a vehicle. There will be a party vehicle involved. I'm not going to say how it comes in just yet, but there will be a party vehicle involved, and you will roll for that right now. You're going to roll 2D some one person is going to roll 2D6 and
Driver.
add 4, which is the number of PCs. So 2D6 plus 4. Tell me what you get.
1, 2.
This is so huge right here.
7 plus 4, so 11.
Yeah.
Humvee.
You got
Oh yeah, that's a good one. A Jeep or a
no,
Humvee?
no.
What?
You got a fucking tank.
Oh.
What?
Oh no. She rolled a 7 and then added.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you rolled a 7. Of course, you didn't roll a 7 and a 4. Jesus.
Why do you keep on giving Kate things and taking them away, you asshole?
God damn it! I thought you had a tank. I was like,
Such a
Whoa.
Of like the surprise. Oh god.
mean.
No, yeah, I got a
referee.
7 plus 4.
plus a 4 is an 11. You got a Humvee. You got the Humvee.
That's nice.
Just like the cover of the game.
Just like the cover of the game.
Nice.
Phenomenal. Okay, let's rapid fire in as we start this story. I want you guys to start choosing how this story is going to start, and we're really going to start it in earnest next week. And you can roll if you want. This is how I've set it up. Your first choice is, where are you going to be for the first sort of scene, very first opening scene of this game? Mm-hmm. There are, and this is just like the landscape. You could be in urban large, urban small, woods, hills, mountains, swamp, ruins, or just open land. That could be a D8 roll if you want, or you guys could choose. What kind of adventure do you want to play? Where do you want to start? Mountains, swamp. I want to be in the woods. I want to be in a city. And you could talk amongst yourselves. It's anything you guys find interesting, or you could roll. Totally up to you.
I'm going to advocate for starting this adventure randomly and ending the creation part of it randomly. But if anyone else has a really great reason to be anywhere else, I'm open to it.
I let the dice decide. This sounds suits me fine.
Random sounds good.
Yep. That's what I was going to say, unless someone really had a strong want.
Yeah. I'm ruins as good as a swamp to me. So
Who's going to roll it?
Grant.
I rolled the vehicle, so not me.
Grant.
yeah.
I would like our newest guest, Ross Bryant, to roll it.
Russ.
Okay. All right. So
But
I'm
thank
rolling
you.
a D8. Is that right?
D8. That's right.
Okay.
Come on, Ross.
All right.
Don't screw us over.
Don't
Said you were
fuck
cool.
this
Whatever.
up.
Okay. Hold on.
No, I wanted you to roll it so I could blame you.
Over. What?
Wait a minute. 7.
Ruins.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Nuclear
It's just like-
ruins.
I will let you now choose the season, or you could roll.
Oh, it should
Is
be
it
winter.
spring, summer, fall, or winter? And you
like
can
what-
totally choose.
It's to start like White Christmas, the movie. It also starts in ruins in winter.
I don't know. Does that make it harder for us though to
No,
like
it does.
survive? Okay.
Spring.
No, winter makes it so much easier.
I mean,
Eastern
if we're
Europe and
choosing,
winter.
I'm down with rolling or just saying spring because that's the easiest. I feel like.
Easiest. What are we here to do? Win or tell a good story? Come on, Kate.
I
Let's
think
roll.
what I hear is heresy against the chance gods.
Yes.
And I think it's time to make a sacrifice, a pointy, little foot-ruining sacrifice with this D4. Joe,
Okay.
what is the one?
1 is spring.
And then all the way
4
through.
is winter.
4.
White Christmas.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock.
Jingle bell rock.
We're all gonna die.
You're going to start in ruins.
Dying in a ruin and then I'm gonna cry.
And
We're
this-
covered in frost.
And, and this is going to be the final roll of the night. This was my idea because what you do is you guys decide how the group comes together. But I wanted to throw a wrinkle into it and sort of like advance the story and have this sort of role play opportunity, which we'll do next week. This was my idea. Since this is winter now, this changes things. And what that changes is 3 of you have been together surviving for months now. If you rolled summer, it could be days since you met. But it's been months because there's no way the height of the war was happening in winter. That's not the way it would have gone down. So when these strikes went down and everybody was separated and split out, you scattered off on your own and 3 of you found each other. And perhaps you had more companions or that you lost along the way. But there are 3 of you that just now met the 4th. The 4th has just now come in to this group in the winter in ruins. We'll find out why very soon, but what I want to find out with a die roll is who's the one? Who's the one nobody else knew and comes in from the outside?
I think it's I roll for it, but like I think it would be awesome if it was Kate's character because
she's
this
seen that
assassin
too.
like coming in.
The most.
You know.
You can choose. Absolutely. This is not meant to be rolled. You can choose. 1 is Skid, 2 is Ross, 3 is Kate, 4 is Grant. If you want it to be Kate for the sake of story, I love it because you don't have a car. You're stranded, right, in this place. And suddenly,
A lone
We're-
wolf.
mist.
We're not sure who it is.
Exactly. All right, there we go. Setting the scene. Broken down and blown out buildings crowd around this small area. Bricks is shattered, broken. A good sort of, and I gotta change this. Give me 2 seconds. It's a little too actiony.
Middle
for
of battle music.
Yeah, exactly. Little too actiony for me. Give me 2 seconds.
Could it be the ruins of the city of Kalish? Because that's where, in the original game, that was the first adventure was set there.
Nice.
Unless you have something else in mind.
No, I have nothing in mind. In fact, Grant, do you want to kick it to Roll20 for just a second?
Oh, of course I do.
Let's kick it to Roll20 for a second, and we'll show everybody this gorgeous map of Poland that comes with the core set. Oh, I love it. How gorgeous is this, like, military map? And where did you say it started, Skid?
Kalish. So which
Kalisz.
I think it's near Krakow.
Oh, I see it. It's right on the river, right by Ostro Wielpolski.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool.
And it's underneath Conan. There's also a grid on the side to help you find.
Yeah, can you give me a horizontal number, Grant?
23 and then P.
23 and then P. Oh,
Oh.
perfect. And guess what? It's ruins.
Oh, perfect.
Because that is what that symbol means on the map when it's all like those like jotted like little like dot.
Oh, awesome.
Wow.
I love it.
So everybody can share that, and I'll take this. Watch this, and just. I already lost it when I Khalit's. Where was it? P. Where are you? Oh, there it is. Bam. There's a marker to show where the central party is right now.
Awesome.
Along the sides, the banks of this frozen river, this western part of Poland, you can track this out now, some 190 kilometers west of Warsaw, some 220 kilometers northwest of Krakow. In the ruins of this small town on the banks of a frozen river, 3 unlikely allies huddle against the blistering cold. Their water is okay, but it's starting to run low. Their rations are in a little bit of rough shape, but thanks to the quick thinking of Christoph, he managed to pull off a job not too long ago where he talked some folks out of some rations, and he's got 4 extra. You might be able to survive another week. That would be nice. But what is it you guys want to do? The 3 of you. Is there some plan you have? Are you trying to get out of Poland? Are you trying to stay alive in Poland now and that's it? That's perfectly fine. Is there somewhere you need to be that isn't here? Can you give me some sense of that right now?
I generally like. I think we always played it like we were always trying to get back to the States. And actually, that was kind of the default. There was almost an adventure path that went along with the original version. There was a series of modules that kind of tied together, and they ended up with you actually getting back to the United States and a series of adventures there.
I love escaping to like the Czech Republic or Germany, like a more friendly like area. Does that make sense to get to the States, or is that too much like what you did in the first one?
No, I mean I like kind of emulating that. Yeah. But yeah, I think finding our way to like a nation that would have been neutral at the outbreak of the war, that maybe the damage is less severe, like Switzerland or Sweden or something.
That's fine. And you know what? You don't have to nail it down tonight. Let's just say you're heading west. You're just trying to get to the west.
Yeah.
And right now you're butted up against a frozen river that you don't know is strong enough for you to cross on foot. You've been debating this maybe for some days or hours, whether you could ford the river on foot. Is it deep enough? Is it frozen deep enough for you to make that walk? Because you've been on foot for a long time. Your feet are in really bad shape, some of you. When in the east, early in the morning, at dawn, as a gloomy light starts to wake you up early in the morning, you hear something, and when you guys hear something, it's immediate. Guns come out. They point towards the sound of danger. Your paranoia at a level it has never been in your lives before. Because you hear the hum of a motor. A Humvee comes rising from the east, moving on this exact road that I can see on the map that goes right past the ruins of Kalist. And if you don't do something quick, it's going to drive right by. And we'll see you next week. I don't know what you, Kate, are going to tell them you're doing or who you are.
Yeah.
You're a CIA
I've got it already. I've got it.
Yeah, what's your cover?
What's your cover? We're going to find out next week your cover, who all these people are, how you met Ross, what your big, you know what I mean? There's so many things to find out, including how sick all of you are
right.
with residual radiation. We're going to find out next week, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know we went long, but god damn it, this was so fun. We'll see you in a week when we dig into Twilight 2000. Thanks again to Free League. Congratulations to our winners. Good night, everybody. Take it easy. We'll see you next time.
Everybody. Good night.
Nostrovia.
Nostrovia.
I love you, Pope John Paul II.
Hero. Kazimir Pulaski. Two worlds.